让我们有请 KB 战队。让我们有请战队队员库本、Widow、WYP、LZK， 最后3Y， 欢迎你们！让我们看到帅气的 KB 战队，请 KB 战队队员和我们全场的观众朋友打一个招呼。希望你们今天有良好的发挥，带来精彩的比赛。他们的对手也是实力强劲，将会给他们出很大的难题。到底他们的对手是谁？相信大家已经非常的清楚。接下来，让我们请出的就是 AG 战队。掌声和尖叫声交给我们的 AG。让我们欢迎成都大秀、包子、诗雪，还有原子，欢迎他们！这就是两支今天出战的队伍，他们会带来精彩的表现。再次恭喜两支战队进入我们的决赛圈，希望今天你们用你们的双手创造奇迹，祝你们好运！请两队走向你们的对战席。比赛马上要开始了，在这里告诉现场所有的观众朋友，除了我们最终的礼品准备给大家留下之外，同时在我们的活动过程中，接下来还会抽出无数轮的大奖、无数的点券、礼品、王者的武器、皮肤。当然，在这里还是要告诉所有观看 CF 火线盛典的玩家朋友，请锁定 CF 火线盛典的官方直播渠道龙珠直播、腾讯视频掌上穿越火线。除了以上官方渠道，您还可以选择斗鱼、虎牙、熊猫、企鹅电竞直播平台收看此次2017 2017 CFMI 穿越火线手游亚洲邀请赛总决赛直播过程中会有不定时的礼品送出，千万不要错过。接下来，总决赛即刻开火，将我们的画面切给我们的解说席，谢谢。
And welcome back here to Shanghai, China. After the exciting conclusion of that, I mean, it was a 3-0 by SV, but it was an exciting 3-0.
Yeah, there was a lot of back and forth battles there, so overall, I'll give it exciting, but
big plays.
I wish it was better. I wish it could.
I just wanted to see more.
I wanted to see them lose at least one map.
Yeah, I think it would have been. I mean, I think everybody wanted to see 5 if they could have. That being said, right? now we're into the mobile side of it, and this one should be much, much closer.
I mean, just from the aspect of it being mobile and the accuracy, as far as I can tell, can't be as high as the CF regular, or the PC version, then I can see it being a lot closer just because the battles themselves will be a lot closer, if that makes sense, like the shots.
Well, we also know historically between these two teams, right, KB and AG, the final was KG versus AG, or KB versus AG in the CFPLM, and that went the distance. It went 3-2, and AG just barely squeaked out a win against KB, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if we get a repeat of that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously neither one of us know too much about the CF mobile scene besides the fact that, like you just said, these teams were both in the finals of CFPLM. Throw back to CS, I guess, but CFPLM. Because they were both in the finals, we can assume it will be a close match just like it was in the finals. The only real difference here is that the winners of CFPLM have a new member.
That's true. Dashio,
the sniper.
On the op there. In addition to that, right, we can just, and it's hard to glean information from their group stages because they, if you thought SV and TGF's group stages were dominant, then you probably didn't see AG and KP's group stages because they were super dominant.
I don't think they even dropped more than 5 rounds once.
Yeah, and that might have been AG dropping to, in the semifinal maybe, dropped something like, I think even 7.
7, yeah.
But so it didn't feel like 7.
They played, I think, 6 matches, or make that 7 because it was a best of 5, right?
Yes.
So make that 7, and out of those 7, there was 1 that hit like 7 rounds for AG, and then the rest were just absolute stomps. And then for KB, the men here on your screen, Cuban, Widow, WYP, LZK, and 3Y. For these guys, it wasn't even close, I don't think, once. It was just a pure stomp.
And we were talking at the time about how it can be hard. I mean, look at that KD.
It just shows. And 3Y and Widow and
12 multi-kills.
12 multi-kills? Jesus. But 3Y and Widow, I'm not sure if there was anybody else on that team that really popped off like they quite did. As you can see here, the kills and the KD is more realistic of it.
Widow's was.
I think
he's going to be. I mean, I just want to know the kills number.
He might be near a 3 KD, honestly. And as we can see, LZK was stepping up a bit here too. He was doing pretty nice.
He did perform an unbreakable there in the group stages as well.
Widow did, yeah.
102 kills. 4 MVPs. This is definitely, for me, the man to keep your eye on for this KV lineup.
Yeah, I want to see how 3Y and Dashio obviously line up because sniper battles generally are the most exciting in general. So I want to see how that lines up. But yeah, Widow probably going to be just clapping some kids.
I'm thinking that might be the case as WIP there. I mean, it's almost ridiculous that that's not the best stats on his team, right?
Yeah.
A 1.93 with 9 multi-kills is just like,
You did okay, boss.
You did your job, but you're not the one carrying out there. So ridiculous.
That just speaks to the dominance.
And it's been Kuben here, who...
The leader, right?
Yeah. It's only his numbers have really been not the most impressive.
And I think that derives from him being the actual leader, meaning like he kind of sat back a lot more and just let his team be aggressive and do the work, and he stuck more to probably the strategy that he implements himself. You know, he's not going to disobey what he says, right?
Right. And that's going to be a tough job. It seemed like a tough job with KB to try and reel in those young guns who are going out there and just, I mean, we saw some of the most AG, I think, played more respectful of their opponents.
Yeah.
But KB just played it absolutely ridiculous. Just
aggressive.
Zero respect. On your quarter health and re-peeking with the deagle in hand against a full health AK holder. Like, that doesn't get much more disrespectful. So that could also be something that might work against KB here.
Yeah, but at the same time, as it could work against them, it could also work for them. And I'm just going to go for a surprising, in a way, call here and just say it's going to be KB 3-1. It's a best of 5, right?
Yeah. I mean, if we're going off of...
And here we got real quick, we got the lineup of AG. We got Chengdu, we got Dashuo, Baozi, Shui. I almost got it. And Atom.
Yeah, at least there's no issues with the Atom matchup today.
As we had yesterday in the semifinal.
I mean, you can just by looking at kind of what we see from these KDAs, you'll start to notice that while there are some impressive ones, AG's going to be pretty even across the board. It really seems to be about team play with them. Everybody doing their part. Baozi, 9
he was
2.08.
He's probably going to be the top KD. You got Chengdu, 1.83. This guy was taking a lot of battles, quite accurate with his shots as well, which is a little different in this game, actually, just the way he shoots. I like it. He just shoots less, but they mostly just spray, right?
Also
that's
using that EBR
the mechanic,
a lot.
Yeah, he uses the EBR a lot as well. But the mechanic in this game seems to be just like the spray a lot, and Shui coming up with a 1.35, still respectable. But Chengdu, from what I was seeing from him, he likes to do a little bit of bursting just to be more accurate with his shots.
Yeah, it certainly did seem that way from him, and we talked maybe about whether or not the EBR was having a hand in that, and maybe if that's advantageous with that weapon, because not having too much hands-on experience between us, it's hard to understand exactly the reasoning behind some of the decisions sometimes. But I really think it's so hard to call this one just from what we know. But I think you were spot on as far as if we just take in a vacuum what we've learned about these two teams, it just looks like KB is like pretty decisively better.
Yeah, and not only that, it's with the way they play. It was rather not similar, but just similar to the way that the Vietnamese team that was playing the semifinal against AG, they were taking a lot of early fights to AG and winning them like pretty handily a lot. AG played the later rounds a lot better than the Vietnamese team, just showed they were way more experienced and they knew how to play the game in general better. But with how aggressive KB plays, the reason why I'm going for a 3-1 prediction myself, I don't know about you, is because it just seemed too effective. And KB's not going to flop in those late rounds.
Well, you also have to remember that TD, there's going to be at least one TD map, right?
True. And we don't know how that's going to play out either.
Because if you want to say...
That's the unknown.
It's already so hard to predict how Sabotage is going to work out.
Yeah.
But if you want to start getting into how is TD going to work, that's just even... I can't even imagine getting into that. As we do go into the team comparison here, and that should just give you a little bit of look there at exactly how dominant both teams have been in this tournament so far. But I think that sums it up pretty well. The reason why, that's pretty much all we're basing our arguments on, is that KDA
they rolled
difference,
everyone.
that 1.95 versus 1.72. And certainly will be a good one to get a look at here between Dasho and 3Y. It's pretty interesting, but 2 MVP points apiece.
We're going to look into the bans here, and I'm expecting a Hawkeye ban. It just seems too consistent of a ban between, and coming in first is the Hawkeye. I'm guessing Satellite. Yeah, that's a smart ban from KB, because AG looked really clean on that. A ship ban, a street fighting ban here. Maybe an Ice World ban. Yep, Ice World ban coming in. And probably Death Cross. Oh, another. Oh yeah,
Another straight
I forget. The right side only gets 2 bans.
They will be allowed first pick, and it will be followed by Dust 2, Coconut Island, Black Widow, and finishing off with Death Cross. If we get there. So, interesting spread there. As you must assume Death Cross being a TD map, right?
Yes. Well, Coconut Island is a TD map.
Right. So we're gonna get.
I don't know if Coconut
3 and 5.
I don't know if Coconut Island is a death match as well, because we haven't seen that yet. But I'm guessing.
Coconut Island?
No, Death. I call it Death Island, but whatever. Death Cross.
Death Island. I already said. I mean, they might as well just change Coconut Island's name to Death Island as a.
Yeah.
There's not many live people for very long. There was a lot of carnage the last time we saw, or the first time we got to see it.
Especially on the side of the Vietnamese.
We are taking a look here at the map Howard. Some of you may notice.
Looks pretty familiar.
It's pretty familiar. And that would be because it's very similar to 1.6's Inferno.
And by very similar, you mean exactly the same.
Perhaps. We've seen some interesting matches so far. I expect this to really be our first true look at how Inferno should be played on this mobile game.
And not only just how Inferno should be played, but just how the game should be played against 2
high-level teams.
Yeah, high-level teams.
Don't get us wrong, Vietnam has potential, but certainly going to be a good little while before they're going to be able to contest the teams like AG and KB here who came out of the Chinese region. They were, pretty unstoppable. KB, the only team between these two who has played on Powered here, and that they unsurprisingly have 100% win rate. Do you have any guesses here as to who this map might favor?
I think this map might actually favor AG. It's got a lot of tight corners and things like that, to where trying to work early picks may not work so well. Well, not early picks, but just the aggressive style of KB, and it may not work so well on this map in particular. On a map like Dust 2 or Black Widow, it would be really hard for AG to stop them, I think. But on Inferno, it's going to be pretty even, at least. If not in AG's favor, straight up.
Yeah, it'll be tough, but I really just don't know what KB we're going to see when we come out. I think we have an idea of what AG is going to look like, because they played a little bit of their game the whole way through. But KB, are we really going to see those aggressive are we going to? They're most certainly not going to be as aggressive, right?
Oh yeah, there's no way. I mean, actually, it may be their play style. Actually, it could still work against AG.
That aggressive.
I mean, you remember how AG got picked off so early against the Vietnamese squad, so I'm just curious to find out how they play it.
I am too, and we should be getting in here pretty soon to our first match, or our first map.
I see a lot of tap-in, so I'm guessing that maybe they're warming up as they're waiting or something like that. Maybe it's a warm-up map in between the loading time. Who knows?
Yeah. I just wonder exactly how aggressive KB's going to come out. See, I wouldn't be completely mind blown if they just if the style just turned on its head, right?
I mean, I wouldn't be mind blown. I would just be kind of shocked if they didn't look as strong as I'm seeing in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I would definitely be shocked, but I wouldn't be like mind blown, like, oh, never could have thought that would happen, you know? I can definitely see it happening, but just the more likely scenario in my mind is that KB's style just, at the very least, makes it slightly in their favor because they're going to get a lot of early picks. They seem to be a lot more mechanically gifted, I guess you could say.
I do think that Widowed is the best mechanically on stage.
Probably, yeah. I can't think of anybody on AG that showed the type of skill that he did.
I mean, the person to me who looked the scariest from AG was scary for a different reason. You know, it's kind of that comparison between N9 and 18 that we were making. Balza looks really good at flanking, finding those moments when your focus is directed elsewhere so that
and I don't think that will shine.
Yeah,
and I don't think that will shine as greatly against a team that will intelligently look behind themselves. But I mean, obviously, Balza would still probably be the best player or second best player on AG with Chengdu.
Yeah, Chengdu has, you know, his KD didn't necessarily shine through, but it definitely felt like that those two players were really dictating the pace for AG. And it's hard to really, but that being said, right, it's harder to pick out a player for the AG. We saw everybody perform with some amount of consistency.
Yeah.
And it's just, will the team play win out over the individual talent of KB? And it does look like we are ready to get in as the cheerer going to come out here from KB. On to Inferno. Did you catch a look at side selects?
BL for whoever was on the left, which AG. I think AG has BL, which could actually work in their favor a lot because if KB is over aggressive on the GR side, that's where things could go in AG's favor for sure. Now AG on the BL side, I'm expecting to be pretty powerful.
It certainly remains to be seen, and I'm excited to get into this one. I'm ready to get into it. I wonder if KB doesn't get out to an early lead, does it start to fall apart on them? Because it's if they are playing this aggressive style and they're not able to find, not necessarily not find an early lead, but instead go down early, you know, 3-4 points, does that really, I think we've seen it before with teams that have similar just heavy aggression in their style, that if they go down early by a fair amount, that they just start to crumble under it.
Yeah, that is true, but the same could probably, maybe not as much, be said about AG since the way they play. You know, they're not going to get any calmer and more passive than they probably play already. So it's not going to affect AG as much. So yeah, I would definitely say, if anything, if either one went down early, it would affect KB a lot more with their play style than it affected AG.
Yeah, I think that would be true, but it does look like we are ready to get into it. And we are in here to our first map between KB and AG, and I think it's going to be a very, I was going to say indicative. I think the early play here is going to be very indicative of maybe the way that this map's going to go, and an early 1-1 trade actually going to be doubled down there by 3Y, as now they're going to get the, and just members dropping all over the board, and Kuban using the shoddy.
And it looks like I may be eating my words about the GR aggression may come back to bite them. I mean, there's still time for it to happen, but wow. That was pretty concise. Very concise victory.
Nice double there. And again, we do see pulled out again here.
Oh,
actually,
Widow, what are you doing, man? That was insane. Insane headshot there by Widow and 3. This is looking like a wipe.
Whoa.
As I was saying, I may change the 3-0.
This is danger, danger, danger. All of a sudden, out of nowhere.
What is happening?
That was a complete stomp.
I don't understand. Maybe KB, I don't know if they changed up their lineup at all or what, but this is just looking, I don't understand how they ever lost. Maybe because of the normal weapons, this is why the mechanical skill is coming out and really showing more in, well, as I say that, AG is starting to win this battle a little bit here as they get a 2-for-1 trade, make that 3-for-1. Adam coming up huge there, and trade's still going back and forth a little bit here as AG is a lot more lit up, but they are stuck in their spawn.
Again, I think an interesting thing to point out, that a change here from group stages to the finals is that Kuban, I don't think we've ever seen him touch that EBR. It's been pretty exclusively on either Chengdu or a non-Chinese team.
But add on to that, I don't think we've ever seen Cuban join in on the aggression. I think this is like calculated aggression from KB. Like this is stuff they've gone over rather than just all-out random aggression that they showed against the international teams.
Right, just intentionally looking for firefights for the sake of firefights more than anything else.
And we got WIP here in a great position. I don't think there is any way they know he is here, and he's in such a good position that they might be able to win this round just based off of him. He gets one, he may be able to get two here, and he does. He's only got one player left to find, and they're both lit, so this could go either way as Chengdu and WIP, two of the best players on either team, come out to battle. It looks like shots just ringing back and forth. Nobody really hitting anything. Nobody really wanting to peek, and Chengdu comes out on top and gives AG their first round.
Yeah, and in a situation like that with low health, that burst fire could really come into play. Being more accurate, definitely more important in that situation. And
I think this is where we're going to see the aggression fall back, and it looks like that way already. I think KB is going to be aggro, but also back up and learn to when to back off, and that's good from them.
Yeah, I think it's something that we're going to have to watch going forward just to see if it's that tempered aggression, and as well as, you know, we've touched on quite a bit about, you know, changing up the pacing, and it's a trap that a lot of heavy aggression teams can fall into, where if you're aggressive all the time, you end up falling into a pattern, and you know, like you said about TGF, you can play aggressive at a slower tempo. As we do see a firefight there in the apartments, and 3Y is going to bail out there and try and take up a new position coming from the vent there, or from the duct there is Shershet in tandem with Adam, and it does look like they are going to push towards this B site slowly and quietly as they move, not using any equipment to preface their, or to signal their approach or cover their approach. And it's going to be on Widow here to try and make some magic happen. And, you know, if I was a gambler, man, that would be the man I would want in that situation, is Widow. But in fact, it's going to be 3YP the first to fall here, as 3Y, ooh, nice little shot there from him, is going to get traded out immediately by Balza. And while And another trade here, going to turn it into the 3-on-2. And again, it's Widow here in that clutch situation. And what a shot there from LZK. And it's going to turn into the one-on-one. Shurshuev versus LZK. But he's going to need to find the headshot. And oh my goodness, he does so immediately.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot to say about that round, really, because pretty standard round, I think. Just a push and a retake, and there was a lot of trades back and forth. Luckily, that time it went to the favor of KB, but it could have gone either way, I'm pretty sure.
And I think situations like that, where a headshot is needed, is a much larger ask on the mobile version.
Oh, yeah. And I think it's a much larger ask in the terms of AG as well. I mean, you see headshots mainly just coming on the side of KB, and they just, like I said, they seem to have the more precise aim overall. So in those tight scenarios, as long as they both know where each other are, I'm expecting KB members to kind of come out on top of most of those.
You know, maybe this is me just forcing the narrative a bit, but it's so interesting to see these two teams match up because, you know, AG, it's like that. It's like that classic tempered aggression or all-out aggression talent versus the percentage plays as trades coming wildly back and forth, and all of a sudden they fall in the favor of AG. But Widow picks up what for the first part of this 1v3,
a triple kill from him already, so this could be his ace. They are both one shot apiece, and Widow, it would be so like him to be the first ace of this entire final, and this is just insane from him. I mean, pretty much a 1v5, to be honest. Yeah. And he does see the bomb there, right? Yeah, he does see the bomb, so this is likely going to go in his favor as long as he doesn't just get absolutely outplayed.
Yeah, and the odds of that are, let's be honest, pretty low here. Unless, I just feel like unless Shushia gets a look at his back for free, this is going to be an ace from Widow.
And Widow is, I mean, thoroughly outplaying Shurshui right now, because there's no way Shurshui thinks he's not on the bomb. And Widow is just making moves all around the map, about to flank Shurshui here. Going to catch a little bit of him there. And, get the first ace. What a round by Widow. Beautiful stuff from the man we said was going to be the best player on the stage, and look at him.
Right. I didn't expect it to shine through so immediately, but I do appreciate the help there in making us sound smart, Widow, so good on you. And that will put him on 8 kills. Wow, that was the timing window there of him walking up as he picks up the bomb was just so good there out of Widow. And as we go into the 5th round, it's KB out to an early lead. Now, Inferno does tend to be a little bit GR-sided.
Yeah. I mean, I don't actually remember. It does, I guess. Yeah. I'll take your word for it, because I can't really remember how it was in 1.6. Now, in the CSGO, for sure, that Inferno is extremely GR-sided.
That may or may not be what I'm basing that opinion on more than anything.
That would make sense.
But, another headshot there from Widow. And this guy is just popping off. You have to believe he's picking this up, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to get at least one here, and it looks like he will. His teammate KS could have been another ace there, Cuban. Come on, man.
Secured, baby. Secured. LZK going to pick up the last one of the round. 5-1 now. KB over AG.
And it looks like, so far, though, KB making me sound even smarter than I really am. Just that aggression just shining through. I made the wild bet of 3-1 for their side because of that. And, I mean, yeah, they are on GR side, but it's looking kind of
nice pick here from Shurshui, though, out of the gate. Going to give them the half-man advantage, let's just say, as the health totals, if we pull the life between both teams, it should be about equivalent. And Shursha getting tagged within an inch of his life there, actually. But as we look at the way that this has actually shown or ended up here between both teams, is it's going to be a pincer here onto the B site. And how in the world do they have any idea that they're coming from that position? I don't know. Such good map movement from AG in this round to really secure this site. And the fight continues. 3 wide, the last man standing, and he will go down to Shursha.
A great round by AG there, just in the way they split them apart, picked one, and then moved on to the site.
Yeah, the way that
their map movement, yeah.
They dodged all of the defense at A and came through spawn. Essentially through spawn to come out and get onto the B site was impressive.
And as we see trade just banging back and forth here, and it seems like AG is taking the worst of this as they are getting so lit up, but actually they end up coming out kind of on top here as WIP is really lit. And there we go, Balza with the backstab, kind of what you expect from Balza at this point.
And it is starting to, I think, in the matchup between KB, you start to really see who the star players here are on AG. As we finally see Balza step up a little bit, you know, Adam there sitting with 6 kills to his name. But as expected, it's really been Widow here early with 11 to his name. And already in pretty close quarters here on this A site. It's going to be a big job here of the defense, but they've called it out. The rotations are on in full. It's 5v5 basically on the point. In fact, it's going to be 5v4 not in the favor of AG, and already 3 down for them. Only going to be 2 left alive between Dasho and Adam to pick up this bomb and get it to a site. And what a hard read there by KB. Unless I interpreted that incorrectly, everyone rotated to the A site.
Yeah. I mean, they had a pincer maneuver on them as well there. Just collapsing in behind them. It was just great play by them overall. Good map movement. Again, just round after round, each team making moves.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't feel like this is just super close until AG can really start to play their way into the match and really show us how they beat KB in that best of 5. I think pretty much everybody's gonna I think a lot of people are gonna start slightly favoring this KB lineup.
Yeah, it mainly looks like a lot of the rounds. Okay, I shouldn't say a lot, but maybe 2 out of the 3 rounds, KB has kind of lost them themselves, except for that 1v1. It's like they're causing the loss, not so much AG causing the win.
Gotta be... Man, there's a great expression about this that we used to talk about, and for some reason it has entirely escaped me.
Maybe something like you're your own worst enemy?
Yeah, it's certainly related, but that wasn't it, because I was thinking about saying that, and then I couldn't think of the other thing. Anyway, Dasho, it's time to show us why you got brought into this AG lineup post-championship at the CFPLM. And he's going to go down pretty much immediately there to Kuban. And is it just me, or does Kuban just look better with that EBR in his hands?
Yeah, I mean, he really does. He's hitting a lot of shots with it and not really missing some like we've seen in the past with and by what I mean by past is just this past in this tournament.
Right.
But maybe that was just him kind of coasting, you know. His team was doing mad work. Yeah, his team was doing mad work in the games against the foreign teams, and just he didn't really have to do much.
Yeah, you'd have to say it's similar to Oh, I totally lost my train of thought there.
Maybe similar to how Imzen was kind of coasting during the group stage matches.
Yeah, we still just don't know. I mean, he didn't have the greatest finals for himself either.
Well, he didn't have the greatest finals, but he did come up huge in a lot of rounds. And, I mean, overall, yeah, you're right. It's not the Imzen we have been used to seeing in the past, I guess you could say, like from CFSs before where he was the man on the team. He's definitely just not the man on the team anymore. He makes impact frags where he's needed, but, I mean, he's got – look at the players he has on his team. Could be the same with Cuban here.
Oh,
He wasn't needed to be the man on the team in the group stages.
Yeah, that's a very good point. But, you know, I really want to see AG try and start to turn this around. I mean, no matter what we say, right, and it's still so early in this final, it went 3-2 for a reason previously, as well as AG won it for a reason previously.
Yeah, you're right. And as I'm already noticing in this, it's not even so much that AG was probably better than them in that. It's just that KB is their own worst enemy. You can already tell they don't know when to stop being aggressive, and they don't know necessarily how to play together when they're being aggressive. Yeah, they're pinching and they're going in a group, but they don't really – a lot of times they're not really playing together. They're just kind of being around each other.
Now that we have a bit of time as we do switch sides here, I want to ask you, having seen this first half, because we will see theoretically, we can see up to 2 team death matches, right? And game 3 is TD. How does this make you feel about TD going?
You know, I could see it going either way because, you know, if you really want to win, you don't have to play, I'm not going to say it's the honorable way, but you don't have to play just head-to-head.
Right.
You can play, there's no other, I don't know any other way to put it. You can play defensive, I guess you could say.
Like play for trades.
Yeah, just play kind of back and just kind of, it's kind of like looked down upon to not really just take head-to-head battles in TD. But if they can't take head-to-head battles, a smart thing for them to do is to not peek, just to play defensive off to the side in corners that KB wouldn't expect, crossfires, things like that, which isn't a fun thing to play against, isn't necessarily a fun thing to watch in TD, but that's how they could win.
Well, you know that used to be the style of CFPL.
Really?
Which was pioneered, in my opinion, by HG, where they would go up maybe 1 or 2 kills after playing aggressively and fall all the way back to spawn, take up hyper defensive positions, and play for trades. Because if I trade you all the way to the end of the match, I win. And because of the way that it works, that you have to funnel in to the spawn usually.
That still seems like a good idea. Why did they stop? Just because it was boring?
The game was changed to prevent this. The game itself was changed to where if you stay in spawn, you begin to lose health. So if you play too far back, the game will take health away from you.
I had no clue that was even a thing. That's awesome. But as we get back into this match here, it looks like nobody's even gone down yet. And AG are playing really defensible positions here, and they know exactly what the strengths of KB are. So look at how they're playing. Just, it's going to be so hard for KB to take this side. I can definitely see how they defended against KB in the past. And here we go. Trades going in the favor of AG. Nothing going in the favor of KB as it's basically a clear team wipe here.
Triple kill there from Shersha. And only LZK left alive. It trying to do the impossible and is unfortunately unable to borrow any of Widow's magic. That Black Widow magic.
I mean, I don't know how they're going to be able to take that B site. That's actually really questionable in my mind. I don't know. Because there's so many spots and so many, as you could tell, so many spots, so many angles they can play. I don't even know what they go. Oh, my goodness. The tactics coming out of AG just, I don't know what KB can actually do against this. I take everything back that I said. On GR side, KB is probably going to look really good. On BO side, if AG has these kind of strats, I forgot how good defensive positions are in the mobile version. If they just continue playing like this, it's going to be so hard for KB. They're going to have to get almost lucky on the trades.
Well, we'll have to find out if that can happen. But first, we will get into the 11th round. And after that, I was going to stammer a bit there, which would have been fine because I was going to say dunk. The team dunk onto 3Y. And, ooh, trades, but none able to be traded back. We saw health bars get dropped dangerously low for AG, but nobody has actually gone down yet. And it just doesn't feel quite coordinated from KB. It doesn't seem like they have a plan of attack. At least nothing cohesive.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a huge problem from them. I expected to see more strategy coming into this. I know they are like a hyper-aggressive team, but, I mean, you got second in CFPLM. You have a veteran as your leader. What?
Season 1 champions.
Yeah, like, I just don't understand.
runners-ups.
I mean, maybe they are just do or die on this. They love this style, and, I mean, there's a big chance that they don't do any other style because they get bored with it. They don't like sitting around.
If that's the case, you have to say that's lazy, right?
Pure laziness, but I don't see any other reason for them not to have any like sort of strategy. Do you?
I mean, you just have to wonder if maybe the fact that it is that the newer club there in KB could have something to do with it. AG is such a tried and true storied FPS club, especially out here in China, that it's scary. You know that any AG team in an FPS is gonna have the fundamentals, the strategy. They're gonna be a very fundamentally sound team, right?
Right.
And it's really starting to show through here as they take to the GR side, and it's like night and day the difference between the two sides, right? I mean, the instant that they switch back over, and it's not even because that I think the game is especially biased one direction or the other. It's just because KB seem directionless when they have to attack. As they fan out here, we'll see if they can coordinate it a bit better here. Widow is poking around towards the apartments, and he will be greeted by a smiling Chengdu if he is not careful. And he's looking for trades. He wisely backs off. But, you know, it's just
This is, I really like this from KB here because they've realized that they were playing so aggressive there, and the only reason why AG would even play aggressive, and actually, wow, Bouncy, he picks up one. I don't even know how. He had 3 members looking at him, but the only reason why AG would even play aggressive toward middle is if they had a lot of members there, because it's just the way AG plays. They only play tactically, right? So
right.
If they're going to play aggressive somewhere, they're probably going to have like the majority of their team there. And that's a realization that, wow, how does 3Y even survive that? But that's a realization that KB had.
And with so much HP as well. And it does look like finally a round going to go on the board here. 2KB on the attack. And it will be 3Y who picks up the last one for himself. A 3K there.
Beautiful triple kill. I think when it comes to combos so far, one has gone on the way of AG as a triple kill. And then I think there's been 3 in the favor of KB.
Not probably. I mean, that sounds appropriate, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't get another Unbreakable out of Widow, so that one doesn't count.
Yet.
Yet. Are you gonna gamble on that one?
No, I would not put my money on that. That is so unlikely. I mean, you don't even see that in pro PC play for Crossfire. I can't even remember the last time it even happened in North America. I don't think it has happened in forever.
I'm not sure I've ever seen one in all my time watching the CFPL.
Even with the rings add so much time to your combo.
Oh, that's right. I was gonna say, except for TD doesn't count.
No.
TD most definitely does not count. If that counted, then yes, I have seen plenty. Ooh, and he's going to get taken down from the back. And looking like KB going to get another shot at a round here. And, you know, it's almost identical to last round's play, right? The only difference is they've got the man advantage this time before they ever come onto the B-bomb side. But instead it's going to be Balza who's found 2. And now it's a 2-on-2. The bomb should be going down. Yeah, 3Y is going to place it now as we speak. And 2 IKs here versus Dasho and his op. He's got the Barrett in equipped.
I would say with the positions they've chosen, I think this kind of favors the GR because of the way they can get in here. And there we go. We see 1 going in favor of Dasho and 2. I guess it favors Dasho. That's what I should have said.
Right.
But yeah, the positions they were playing there, I don't know. I mean, I think they needed to clap some. Actually, I don't even know what they could have done. That's really difficult. So they're so lit. 2v2, bomb planted.
The tag team of Adam and Dasho do win that round though, and 7-6. AGE draws ever closer to KB as we move forward. 10 again is the magic number here for PC as well as, or for the mobile, just like the PC is probably more what I wanted to say. And Shushia with 5 kills on the second half with Balza again. You know, it's great to see him able to hold so well on these sites. He does get traded out, but I mean, you can only ask so much of the man. And it is Adam spraying down. Ooh, and he's going to find the double as he finishes off with the pistol. Came close to picking up Kubin there, but he will trade it out.
And I honestly don't know how this is going in the favor of AG here. This definitely should have been a round for KB. But we're left in a 1v1 with Cuban on basically 1 HP. I'm not really sure what his true HP is. But Dasho with a sniper, though, so it doesn't really matter exactly what HP Cuban has. And we're going to see, apparently Dasho thinks it's the best strat he can do is rotate all the way around the other side of the map. And that's probably going to be the best thing he can do, honestly.
I mean, he's certainly got enough time, as Kubin has not even remotely considered placing the bomb at this point. But now Dasho has to start wondering, is he rotating towards A? Why is the bomb not down? It has to, and you have to wonder, is this just clever? You know, this is that veteran Kubin. Because at this point, I mean, how could you not be convinced it has to be going to A?
But the thing is on Cuban's side, he also has no idea where he was. So he was waiting for him to push onto the site because he thought he may be close. And so here he is. He's really confused. But that flank from Dasho is turning out to be all for naught because he's coming from the same direction.
That's true. But again, I think both players thought that, or I think Kubin thought maybe he never left, or he was just being super clever and buying himself time to get in, to force the clock, you know, and just smart play. Such smart play. And it's what you expect out of a veteran like Kubin.
Yeah, for sure.
Because he could not have played that any cleaner. I mean, and you know, you can say to me he could have taken the kill, but like, he was at no point was he looking to fight. He was just looking to buy time to use that clock to his advantage, and it must be said he was 100% successful. He really has looked like a man reborn. And, you know, the question is it just cruising to the finals? Or is it just putting a new gun in his hand?
Well, I mean, just from the way he's playing,
ouch town.
Yeah, that is really bad for KB. But just from the way he's playing, you can tell that he's the kind of player that will play much better against good competition because he assumes they're going to make, and what a pick. Chengdu is ready for that as well, but he assumes they're going to be good and they're going to make these type of decisions, and that's the kind of player he is. He plays off of basically predicting his opponent.
He's a cerebral player. He plays with his mind rather than, maybe needing to find the best kills anywhere. And it's definitely somebody that, moving forward on this KB team, if he can have a greater influence and really try to inject some of that strategy and, coolness towards the game, KB could become an insane team. Because they're strong now, but their weaknesses are becoming more and more clear the longer we play into this game. As it is Adam and Balza finding kills, only LZK left, excuse me. Struggling a little bit here, and I apologize. Balza with a double kill to close it out. And 8-7. We're looking tight here as we draw close to the end.
And that nade does an amazing amount of damage onto KB, but they do get an early one onto this B site, and they're just chasing down Bautza. He's just running for his life here, and he may be able to play the angles to his advantage as he does get one pick onto Widow, which is the vital member that you want to pick off of KB if you want to win this round. It looks like it's going to be a 2v4 with the HP kind of even on both sides if you're just looking in the terms of HP, but 4v2 is definitely a tall order for Dashuo and Shurshui, as Shurshui comes in, gets a 1K, gets a 2K triple kill by Shurshui. What beautiful play by him, and now it's all in the hands of Dashuo. This is still very losable for either side, so he needs to play this carefully, and he's shooting, but he still can't seem to connect. And he's so lit up, he hasn't hit one bullet yet. And LZK clutching it out for his team, and that was really big by him because the mentality on his side after he sees his teammates just get absolutely crushed like that. It was hard for him to pull that out.
How on earth does Shurshui find the room to complete that triple kill? That was a triple kill in the face of 3 people.
I think it was in the face of 4 people almost.
Right? That was absolute insanity. You have to say KB definitely Shurshui getting the assist to that triple kill for Shurshui.
Yeah. Whew. What a game so far.
And we're into a 9-7 situation now. AG gonna have to put 2 rounds in a row together on the board, and it seems entirely possible from what we've seen. It has been AG clawing their way back, slowly chipping away at the lead, and that was an awkward reload timing. And Balza and Dashuo gonna even things out here. Kuban, he's got the bomb, but not much help. And it's gonna be 3Y who goes down first. Adam, Balza, and Dashuo all on full HP. LZK gonna tag Adam a bit, but
the timings of these AG players with their reload switches and everything this round is just awkward, but they're still on top of the round. And as I say that, he's just not looking the right way. Maybe he should have his teammate, let his teammate watch that for him as he looks at his back. I'm unsure about that. But 2v2, both in CT, they don't really know where the second player is apparently. And a headshot comes in from LZK. LZK just coming in clutch these last 2 rounds. And we're down to a 1v1 with Cuban. Can Cuban play the mind games yet again and come out on top? But Bautza, the best player in the server in terms of kills right now, so it's going to be hard to outplay him when his shot is on fire and you're so lit.
Well, you also have to say, I'm looking forward to this 1v1. Cuban, I wish they were both at full health.
He's going to have to make moves. He's going to have to move away from the bomb. The position he's in, it might not work out too bad as Bautza is actually coming this way. But Bautza's going to be looking his way. I was going to say, I think he needs to move to a longer away position, just like move across the map. Maybe like run into the apartments themselves, or I don't know. Just there's not much he could have done to win that round because he was so lit. It was just
right. I would love to see a full health 1v1 or similar health 1v1 between Kuban and Bautza because to me, they're the 2 more cerebral players for their teams. Bautza always able to find his way in behind lines, and Bautza, it's as if he wants more praise He gets 2 before he's traded out, and we might be heading to overtime here on our first map. But Widow has something to say about it. He's turned it into a 2-on-2. Grenades coming across. It does look like they will bail out of this B push and splinter off towards A with the bomb in their hands. Dasho does, I do believe, he did pick up another weapon. I saw him toss out the Barrett, but I didn't see him pick one up, and I was so worried that he had just somehow failed to realize that himself. But Dasho and Chengdu have read this like a book. The question is, with so much on the line, do you execute with this much time left on in the 2v2, knowing that as Blacklist, time is in your favor? What's the call here for you? If you are Cuban,
I mean, as I've noticed from Cuban, he likes to play it really slow whenever he's left in these late round scenarios. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's just looking for the push, finding out where they are. Now that he has, he's going to definitely hightail it toward B side. And the bomb is down. He can't do anything now. He has to go get the bomb from the clutches of 2 full health GR players. And now, I wouldn't say it's out of his grasp here. He's definitely a kind of player that that can be expected to come up clutch, because look at him. He already has.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that comes along with that veteran status, is that cool hand under pressure. And he will be seen, however, and that's going to make things a lot harder, as 2 people peeking you from 2 different angles. And it does not look like he saw Dasho.
He did. He saw Dasho, and now he knows exactly where he is. And this may be something he can pull out. He's got 13 HP, though, but so does Dasho.
Oh, he's done it! What is that? You've got to be kidding me.
Just cerebral prey coming out in the hands of Cuban over and over and over again.
And that's a rough one there for AG. And that, definitely a rough one there for AG.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, anytime, especially because it looks like, okay, we're going into replay here. And yeah, a nice little replay there. I mean, that was definitely the tightest game we've seen all day.
I mean, by a long shot. Even the game that was kind of tight between SV and TGF wasn't even, it didn't feel that tight.
Points-wise, it wasn't tight, but the way that the
10-7.
play felt.
Right?
No, I'm saying here? You mean here?
No, the one map that was close between SV and TGF, subbase.
I don't remember exactly.
It was close in score. I think it was 10-7. But in terms of like how it felt, how close it felt, it was nothing close to this.
I mean,
it couldn't get any closer. Just in the way it ended, 1v2 for game point, not even match point. It was tie point or game point. And 1v2.
For me, when I saw Widow go down, I was like, well,
that's pretty much GG, right?
Yeah. We're going to overtime, baby. And then, because you don't expect Cuban in that 1 versus 2 full health
to outshoot, right?
If he has the bomb, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's different. If he can force them to come to him and be able to try and outplay them without just using straight up hard mechanics, then hey, he's got a shot. But when Widow has the bomb and he goes down up there, you think it's all over. But when you're hot, you're hot. And he had more than 1 clutch.
10 kills in that half for him. We haven't even seen barely 10 kills in a lot of the games he's played, like maps wise.
He's certainly, I mean, perhaps it was that he's just like taking naps during the group stage and having his team carry for him, and now all of a sudden once he's needed, he wakes from his 1,000-year slumber.
Batman. He's just Batman of KB. Whenever he's needed, just put out the bat signal. All you got to do is put out the Cuban signal. Hey, you're in the finals. Okay, I guess I'll wake up now.
That was such a big time clutch from him, and
Widow was pretty silent that half as well. Just to point that out.
Huge on the GR side, and then like you said, silent really on the BL. I mean,
and you can only expect so much. I mean, a player that plays as aggressive as he does against a good team, he's going to be on and off, but he's definitely going to be on sometimes like he was.
And he certainly was.
But Bautza, I think the player of the match might have to be Bautza. Both sides. I mean, it's between him and Cuban. Yeah, Cuban did clutch it out for his team, but the only reason it was even close, in my opinion, was because Bautza was just a monster.
Yeah, he's definitely looking like that standout player here for AG. But you can't. There's no way you can take MVP of Map 1 away from Cuban. Literally, if it were literally just that last play, he might even deserve it.
If it was just only that last play, then yes, he does deserve it. But I think the most valuable player to for the reason either team got the rounds they did, I think Bautza takes the cake a little bit more so is all I'm saying. Like, he was insane. Cuban was also insane, but Bautza was just insane on so many levels. He was a clutch player. He was an early frag player. He was a mid-game player. He was just everything.
And I agree. Bautza was playing great. Insane. But when it was 9-8 and the difference between 1 point guaranteed or maybe not 1 point. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a break for this. We'll be back with more here in a bit.
也可以许下自己的愿望。那我们今天呢，就在这里会念出你的留言，满足你的愿望。上一轮许愿活动没有被抽到的 C 粉们，现在你们有福利了。我们来看一看有多少人给我们的中国队来留言，一起来到我们的留言区。好，我们来看看有多少人在我们的留言系统上有留言。好的，我们首先抽出了有8位啊，这8位呢将会获得我们送出的礼物。首先来看看他们写了一些什么话。第一位，这位175937火箭盛典的朋友说到是永远支持中国，因为我是中国人。中国队加油，中国队必胜。他想要黑武士套装，这个愿望我们满足你。好，恭喜你。接下来一位，我们看一下。156-315的火线盛典，这位朋友说中国队加油，一举夺冠。然后我们知道 CF 手游中国最强，他想要一把火麒麟永久。放心，这个愿望也满足你。接下来，好1880988的这一位朋友也是祝我们越办越好，想要黑武士套装送给你。下一位320080火线盛典他的愿望也是黑武士套装，好，2套送给你们。下一位195679火线盛典的朋友，这位也想要黑武士套装。好了，我们今天要送出3套了，分别给你们，感谢你们。接下来，这位是827991火线盛典，来自安卓 QQ 区的爽爽哈，谢谢你的留言。他想要的是黑龙魂和圣诞灵狐，今天一起满足你的愿望。好，还有2位，我们来看看281675火线盛典的朋友，他是衷心祝愿 AG 和 SC 能够在亚洲邀请赛有一个不错的发挥。今天的 AG 表现当然不错，你想要的火麒麟套装满足你的愿望。最后一位，我们看一下82791火线盛典的朋友，他说也希望我们的 CF 手游越办越好，实现电竞梦想。他的愿望是 圣诞灵狐者和永久金榜题名手雷5次许愿活动，希望这次能中奖。放心，你这次真的中奖了，恭喜你！以上的8位玩家，我们的愿望都将一一来满足。感谢你们对穿越火线的手游的支持。当然，我们的工作人员会联系你们，所以请保持你们的通讯畅通。当然，手游的 Cipher 们，这一轮8位完全不够，我们再来看8位，同样满足他们的愿望。好，这一轮的8位，我们来看一下，第一位来自微信的游戏圈。QQ 号呢是41892火线正点的朋友，他说中国重要事情说3遍哈，他想要永久的黑武士，恭喜你。下一位 QQ 号29422火线正点的朋友，他说 CF 手游陪伴了他1年多了啊，希望能发展到国际舞台，也希望得到一把黑武士，满足你们2位黑武士的要求。接下来是微信号码小玉啊134915火线正点的朋友。他的愿望想要一把永久的青花瓷 AK47，放心，你的愿望我们都能满足。下一位是微信号码 CC44548火线正点的朋友，希望中国队能拿下世界顶级的荣耀，希望一把永久黑骑士，感谢你给我们留言。接下来是 QQ 号码192899火线正点，他的愿望也是希望能圆满成功我们的赛事，谢谢你。同时想要一把 AK47黑武士，满足你的愿望。还有呢，来自 QQ 号码98268火线盛典，也是一位中国的玩家，希望我们越办越好。他想要2样东西，一是黄金赛事的 AK47A， 还有一把 AK47青花瓷，2把枪都送给你了。最后2位，我们来看看 QQ 号码11251的朋友哈，他呢就是希望跟我们有更多的人一起来玩穿越火线的手游版，加油！想要火麒麟送给你。最后一位 QQ 号码80568啊，泱泱华夏，中国必胜，必拿冠军。他希望我们的枪战手游 No.1 让更多人着迷，想要火麒麟套装。放心，刚刚的16位朋友，我们都会满足你们的愿望。我们的工作人员会和你们联系，请保持你们手机和联系方式的畅通。那接下来呢，还有一个好消息要告诉大家，今天呢，我们的 CF 手游除了我们现场的很多的来宾的到场祝福之外，还有2位特别的来宾给我们带来一个特别的消息，我们让所有的朋友一起来看一下 VCR。
大家好，我们是电影《10万个冷笑话2》的导演卢恒宇
和李素杰，
10冷2 8月18日全国上映。
欢迎大家走进电影院，多多支持。
此次10冷2与穿越火线手游有非常深度的合作。
8月14日起，关注 CF 手游公告信息，线上有特价票等着大家。
另外，全国20城线下活动有机会获得免费观影。
CF 手游内也会上线10冷2大电影的定制套装哦，
一定要玩，一定要看哦。
谢谢2位活泼的导演哈，这2位导演是来自我们马上在8月18日即将上映的电影《10万个冷笑话2》啊 ，CF 的主角也会在电影中会有给力的表现。8月18日至8月21日登陆手游就可以得到巴雷特雷神和10冷手杖，同时还可以在 CF 手游中体验跳跳乐版的这个10冷2的地图，还有呢拿免费观影以及限量周边的机会。另外8月19到20日，穿越异次元挑战上火线为主题的线下20个城市的影游联动活动也在等待着所有的玩家，快去 CF 手游内了解活动，更多惊喜等待着大家。我们闲话少叙，马上进入到我们刚刚的 KB 战队和 AG 战队的第2轮比赛。
And we are ready to get back into our second match here of the day. Of course, it is between KB and AG. A tight one there in the beginning, but just barely KB was able to edge it out thanks to the heroics of Kuban, which is why he's my MVP.
More power to you, my boy.
Map 2, I believe was, how is that escaping me?
It is I want to say Coconut Island, but
No,
I feel like it's not.
Coconut Island is number 3.
Then it's going to be Black Widow. I'm relatively certain it's Black Widow. It's hard because the names are so different for all the maps, so it's like hard to remember exactly because I'm not familiar. Is it?
It's Dust 2.
Okay.
Which, if we're gonna we're running through the classics, and then we're gonna jump onto Coconut Island.
You know, I honestly think this is the map that will go more in favor for KB than the previous map.
Yeah, I think you're right in that. You know, I think if there was gonna be a map where the defensive, just team play style was gonna win out, that might have been their best chance to pick up a map.
Yeah.
That being said, you know, we saw a lot of good things from AG down the line, and
a lot of bad things from KB as well.
Exactly. They've certainly reached that median.
They were saved.
KB has fallen towards Earth, and AG is really showing why.
Yeah, they've been saved quite a few times in clutches. 2 by Cuban, I think 1 or 2 by LZK as well, and then maybe 1 by another. They've been saved a lot in clutches.
Yeah, that's certainly true, but you know, that's kind of what comes with the territory of having just a little bit better aimers. You know, we saw that out of SV in the previous match, that sometimes they're just going to win a round that they shouldn't anyway, when it's already so hard to take rounds from them in the first place.
Like on subbase when they retook lower A and were just pounding headshots and
right.
It was insane.
So, you know, it's just one of those things that it's that X factor that you get in your favor, which can be, you know, which essentially just won them a map. You know, it's easy to say, oh, well, every round counts equally, right? But whew, that's definitely not the case when it's 9-8 and you're trying to close out your first map in a final. Like,
and you're in a 2v1.
That round matters more. I promise you it matters more every time. And yeah, huge there by Cuban. Gonna put his team out to an early 1-0 advantage. We are loading into game now, and we should be there soon, as we do see the Asia Cup there. And yeah, I called it. My memory has not left me yet, although my pen has. Dust 2 here. Gonna be 100% win rates for both teams.
Of course, because if we look back on the group stages there,
nobody has lost yet.
It was not even close for either team on Dust 2. I think we got to see a lot of overly aggressive plays from KB in their matchup. So if they do anything close to that, on the even on Dust 2, which is favorable for aggressive teams, but even if they pull out that over aggression, that's where they're really going to fall and start to lose rounds to AG, in my opinion, if they continue to do that.
It could be. I mean, AG, you know, it's a standard for a reason, and that's because it's very balanced map. We've talked about this as we were coming through.
Yeah, it's neither GR or BL sided, and I really like that about it.
Yeah, and that could kind of turn it back into AG's favor, you know, on that defensive side, if they can utilize their defensive style. It might not even be a defensive style, right? It could just compare it to KB. It just seems like
it's normal.
Style. Yeah. So we'll have to see how it does play out as we move forward. But I would be surprised if it wasn't tight again. But let's get into it. And we are into it. AG will take to the offense here as their selected side, being that they lost map 1. And what do you think of that decision?
You know, I think this will work really well for AG because they're going to get the aggressiveness of KB out of the way and just get KB's best side out of the way and possibly come out ahead because they now know the pace that KB is going to set.
We will have a quick restart here as we did have a player disconnect from the lobby. Should be quickly back into it though.
But as I was saying, I mean, they understand the pace that KB is going to set now on the T side. I just don't think they were ready for the crazy aggression that KB showed in the first game. They were just unprepared, so unprepared. That's why they got clean wiped like the first 2 rounds.
But how could that be? I mean, these teams have to know each other better than anyone else. I mean, I'm sure you can attest. Any team that plays in any kind of final, a best of 5 and it goes to 5, you are in that man's mind. You are in your opponent team's mind. You know exactly the kind of thing that they're going to play, but they know exactly what you're going to play, and thus, you know.
But at the same time, I mean, that first round was the most aggressive round we saw KB play. It was like ridiculous. I don't think they threw nades. They just rushed. And so that's why it caught them off guard in a way. I mean, maybe it didn't completely catch them off guard. They just weren't prepared for a no nade push.
Yeah, and from GR no less.
Yeah.
So it'll definitely be an interesting setup. But I'm just a little bit worried here for AG, because you would think and again, we're dealing with imperfect information, right?
Of course, yeah.
But you would think that a map like Inferno,
that would be their map. They would win 10-6, 10-5 probably.
right, would heavily favor this style that AG chose to play, and we saw it come through for them a couple of times where they just looked. I mean, right when they switched sides, right, it looked like, oh my goodness, AG might just win 9 in a row if they had needed to.
Yeah, but you know, at the same time that Inferno may be a GR-sided map, but basing it off of CSGO, it may be like a little bit of
a misnomer.
Yeah, because in CSGO you have the money system, and you can get screwed over with the money system on BO pretty easily, and that's how you can really rack up rounds. I think if it was a gun round every round, especially with the smokes the way they are and the nades the way they are in CSGO, I think the Inferno on CF is not so GR-sided. It didn't seem to be. It seemed to be kind of not a 50-50, but maybe a bit GR-sided, but not like strongly. Because the Blacklist could still get in and impose their will decently easy, except on that B side.
Yeah, we'll say as well as on this version of that map, right? There's no free vision into. It's much harder to get vision into apartments if you're holding deep, right? Which can also provide better entry for Blacklist. So that's also something to look at. I do still think just kind of the way that the choke points work, and just B side in general, you would have to say even through all of that, it's still got to be edge in the favor there.
It looks like we are now loading into the game, and we should be getting into it any second now.
Yep, we are ready to go here in map 2, and it remains to be seen who will be favored here on Dust 2. But springing through the smoke there, and it's going to be Widow who picks up one and 3Y who picks up another. A bold push through the smoke there in mid from AG, and of note, of all teams. And Chengdu going to pick a nice headshot up, but he's going to be in a bad situation as he's going to be flanked from all angles, and it's going to be 3Y with another pistol kill to end out the round.
Interesting choice to start it off by AG. Maybe they thought that KB were going to push A long or something like that, or take A long at least, because that would make sense on the strategy side if that was the case.
With the pace at which Balza just strolled through that smoke, you have to think that they had some kind of hard read set up for round 1 of Dust 2.
Yeah.
Because there's so few situations that early on in the round where that is a good idea. But it is actually going to be 3Y, going to pick up another one here early onto Adam. And, but he will be traded back. Or, excuse me. That was a cut to someone dying, and missed that. Widow will pick up one, but will get traded out. And that's going to leave the man advantage in KB's favor. So we'll have to see if AG can get anything going. Oh my goodness, that was a great shot there. And that's the one to keep your eye on, right?
Especially on this map. The snipers are going to be extremely effective. And 3Y, what a great sniper he is. And this is really where the new member of AG, Dashwo, is going to have to step up. I mean, if they want to compete and they bring a new sniper in, they got to have brought him in for a certain reason. So I'm looking at him. He needs to be stepping up here. This map is not fully based on him, but I'm going to say a lot of it is on him right now.
Right. I mean, it's not impossible, right, that their previous sniper left for some other reason, creative differences between the team. They don't get along well, something like that. But it's so rare for those kind of issues to surface on a championship team. So it's pretty surprising. You would have to say, Dasho, they went out there and they got somebody who's just a better mechanical sniper. Otherwise, there's no reason to switch teammates, right?
And from watching him in the past games, he did definitely look like a beast. Just he was hitting a lot of quick scopes. And that's really rare in this game from what we noticed. But he's just going to have to show up is the only thing.
Fully flashed there is Shurshui, but they were unable to close it down in time, and oh my goodness. Only 3Y is left. He is full health. How are you full health in this situation?
Oh my word, and he's picking up a huge 4K here. I didn't even think that was going to be possible. What?
We had already moved on.
I was like calm as could be during that whole thing because I didn't think that was going to be a possibility there, but what a round coming out of Shurshui there.
I mean, he took basically no damage as well.
That was a huge mess up there by KB. Huge. How do you not hit him one time? You got 4 players looking at him. 4 players
only
looking at it.
3 at one time and then 1 alone.
I mean, okay, but still, you had 4 players really looking at him within a second or a couple seconds. Oh, I'm not going to get over that round for a while. But let's just move on here.
I mean, he still had to hit his shots, right? The opportunity has to be given, but you got to hit those shots, and, I mean, he hit them. He's got 6 kills for himself. And that was a true 1v4, and he's really feeling it now as he's going to pick up another one here in round 3. It will be even trades, though, starting off here, except for that little bit of damage onto 3Y. Will be actually, Dashio going to take it right back from another angle there, and it's going to be Adam who picks up our next kill here. And it did look like he got vision for a second there, but couldn't quite find the shot, and Kuban going to pick up a huge double kill. And again, it's going to be Shurshui and Dashio. This time, all they've got to do is go even 2 for 2. But perhaps the kryptonite there for Shurshui is that damage has already been done to him, so he doesn't have the Achilles buff, as it were. And as we do see him coming through, and again, late round situations, it's Shurshui all day, every day.
Curious. Very curious. I just don't understand how this is happening over and over, but I'll just give it to Shershray because he's been playing out of his mind the past couple rounds. I mean, that is
When you're hot,
7 kills, I think, in the last 2 rounds.
when you're hot, you're hot.
When you
I
got
mean,
the hot finger,
we
you ain't
did-
gonna linger on the scoreboard because you're gonna keep going up.
There you go. I was about to say, we did see the referees moving in there towards his position as well. Perhaps going to have to give him a new phone as if you're that hot right there. I mean, that bad boy's got to be overheating.
Yeah, as Widow does pick him out of the 2K, it just seems like Widow, whenever he gets frags, it's always in multi-kill fashion. Always.
Yeah. I mean, he's a hypey player. You know, you can only... If the play's not hype enough, he's just gonna let it go. He's like, yeah, I mean, I can only pick up 1 kill here.
I'm not too sure about that.
That's not my style, man. I need.
Wait, I
the
could pick up
multi-kill.
2 here, but it's not going to be a double kill. Not my style. As LZK picks up a double kill of his own, and that makes it a 1v4 here for Adam. And surely they're not going to let another one of these pass by. They've definitely got to be, you know. And Adam, he does get 1, but luckily he gets traded back on. I was like, whew.
That
The
time,
shooting wasn't happening soon enough for me to feel comfortable.
right? That time they had the bomb. They had the point at which had to be drawn to, as opposed to when Shershray had to plant the bomb and they had to advance on his position. That will put us into 2 apiece. Everything square here on our second map. We do see, looking at a bit at the guns that have come out, it's actually Chengdu coming off of that EBR and Kuban remaining on it.
Chengdu has been using the AK for a while now, actually. I noticed that earlier. I was really curious about that as well, because every time I've seen him, I keep seeing, like, no EBR in his hand. I'm like, what's happening here? He's been using it all the way up until this point, but, yeah, he's been using the AK quite a bit, and I haven't seen him being as effective as he usually is.
It was super, he was using it quite a bit there in that first map. And look at all of that tag damage, in addition to the man advantage. Definitely going to lean things pretty heavily in the favor of KB on this retake if they can come from good angles. We do see one AG member pretty deep there in the pit on A. And, you know, if you hit your shots, then the health advantage can only help so much, as just dropping like flies here, the KB members. And the 2v4, it is somewhat doable there, but Adam and Balza, I don't think, got touched after getting tagged so heavily early.
Wow, I think, honestly, KB right now are kind of tilted off of that 1v4 round, because they're just not hitting their shots all of a sudden out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think they're kind of tilted right now. Because it was looking pretty cleanly in their favor, then all of a sudden they're just not hitting shots, and AG can't do anything wrong.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you don't expect when you have that veteran leader in Kuban. You expect that he's going to be able to come back and turn them around and, you know, try and reduce the tilt factor here. But he's the only man left alive, and maybe that's the way to get it done, right? Well, if I just pull off a 1v3, that'll bring my team back, right? Well, it'd be 1v4 at this point because he's already taken down Balza. And he's looking for it. And, ooh, nice little quick scope there by Dasho. And it's definitely been AG, all AG here later as we move towards the second half and get ready to change sides. AG could easily put 3 more rounds here on the board.
I think they put 4 in a row now.
We went 1-1 and then 2-2 and now 4-2.
So 3 rounds in a row then.
Yeah.
Crazy. I mean, it's got to be hurting for KB right now. They really need to put some rounds on the board in order to get the momentum going, because 100% they're a momentum-based team. They need this. Otherwise, this might actually be looking heavily in favor of AG if they just keep putting rounds together. I don't see KB doing anything.
3Y gonna drop again. And we do see Kuban spraying towards the point. with that EBR. They just can't quite find anything yet. He will pull out a flash and toss it down that way, but I don't think any of those grenades going to find their home. And just like that, again, it's Adam with a lovely double kill and another double kill by Dasho. Back-to-back double kills there for the AG teammates. Gonna turn what was looking like a pretty close round there into a complete stomp by AG. And it's times like these where KB might wish they could have a pause.
Yeah, they definitely need to collect their wits or collect some frags or something, man.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's got to come at the hands of a player like Widow or a player like Kuban. They just need a big play, something to turn them and drag them
Both
back
those
into
players,
the green.
well, I thought both those players went down. I was about to say, how ironic is that? But it looks like Widow and LZK left alive in a 2v3. And, I mean, the HP is pretty decently in their favor here. They can do this, but the thing is, are they going to hit their shots this time?
You know, if this were map 1, you would say, I might even favor KB in this because Widow just seems so able to hit his shots. But that right there was
So
a good
clean.
shot.
So clean.
And if it was time for you to step up, this was it. But Shershe again, 10 now on the round. Adam with 10 of his own. And it feels like KB is just falling apart at the seams.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to me that after one single clutch, even though it was absolutely insane that they even let the guy clutch that and that he did clutch it,
Right.
that they just fall apart, and it's now 4 rounds in a row. Or 5 rounds in a row, actually, because it was 1-2 before that.
Where it hasn't looked close.
Not at all. It's insane. I just don't even understand this. I mean, if this keeps up, will they even be able to untilt themselves after the map? Because they can't seem to untilt themselves after something so simple as that.
Good news for them is, even if, right, it goes and tilt all the way.
When they would go 3Y with a
3Y,
beautiful
yeah,
2K,
nice.
but Shershe with just as good of one back on the KB, and it's now Widow left in a 1v3.
Step 1 complete, though. Turn it into a 1v2. Step 2, find Shershe first and kill him because he's one shot away. Step 3, kill Dasho. Let's see how many parts of this 3-step program he can complete. He's found Dasho, but not Shershe. And yep, see, there's the problem. If it were Shershe, boom, done. And 7-2. What just happened?
I have no words for it, honestly. I mean, I'm not trying to take anything away from AG, but just what? KB, what are you doing? They just don't even look like a contender right now. Like they look like they're 2 tiers below AG.
Yeah, I mean, and it was just boom, all of a sudden, complete change.
It's like they're throwing, but
Every
you
way
know they're not
possible.
throwing. You know what I mean?
Right,
It's like
right.
hard to believe this is happening.
We got to push this bad boy to 5 games, and we're gonna trade games the whole way. I mean, yeah, it's just completely, it's unfathomable how that swung back so far, because it was looking just super similar to map 1 early on. You know, back and forth, but maybe
KB looking better.
but slight edge to KB. And then that clutch from Shershe happens, and we don't see a single round from KB again that looks promising.
And it's almost like they don't even have the veteran presence of Cuban. Like, it's like he's not even, like, I just don't understand. I mean, is he
You almost wonder,
tilted himself?
or is he just not the loudest voice on that team?
Maybe so.
It's, you know, if it is, you know, we see Widow sitting in the middle there for them, and it wouldn't surprise me too much if he became the default leader as that, higher mechanical skill player. But if that's the case, you'd have to say then Widow is certainly tilted.
For sure. I mean, after that, I would be kind of tilted too for like a little bit.
Yeah, but they have to bounce back, and I think if they just put this round on the board, and well, it's going to be in 3Y's favor, or 3Y's hands, and that is not the best shot we've seen out of 3Y. And that's going to put it 8-2 here for AG. Looking like we're going to tie this map score up at 1-1 apiece. And, things are kind of contradictory to what we were expecting, at least on our first two maps. In fact, quite the opposite. I don't know if it's quite as cut and dry as we can say, but it does not it does not feel like KB is going to come back and try and string 8 rounds together here.
It definitely doesn't, but I think our presumptions were correct. I mean, KB should have taken this map. In my opinion, they should have. I just do not understand how they are falling apart so hard. I mean, if they keep this up, are they even going to have a chance in the TD? If they can't even hit their shots now all of a sudden? It's like they turn their phones upside down and they don't even remember how to play.
Well, it self-corrects if you do that.
Yeah, still.
That would not impact.
Maybe they accidentally hit the home button occasionally.
Right. The fat fingering all the way down there to the home button. I think that's what's the best thing about the fact that Coconut Island is up next, right? If you're not hitting your shots,
you can get it back by playing TD.
Exactly. So you give yourself, that certainly doesn't mean we can't just straight up win TD as well. Once we get a little momentum going and we're hitting our shots, we could easily take that map. So I actually think if it really is this tilt factor, and it's, yeah.
I was about to say, okay, huge 3K there from WIP to make it not another, clutch round. Because I was kind of afraid that was what was about to happen there.
It's just run it right back. More clutches from AG. Tilt KB to the literally off the face of the planet. That is, they're trying to boost somebody up way up high. As not the typical boost setup there. Where was that boost? There we go.
I don't know. Maybe somewhere, maybe on Cat. Because it looks like they're still trying to do it right now. And yeah, it definitely is going to be on Cat here. So this will take Widow by surprise. I mean, if Widow actually pulls out a frag here, it doesn't look like they're actually boosted. So maybe it won't take him by surprise here.
It could be that they just, we saw it a lot. People just failing either boosts or box jumps, and then immediately saying, bail, 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 bail. They're unwilling to risk the chance of losing around by being caught off guard in those positions. Yeah. And we will see rotations coming through mid and maybe looking towards Cat here, as we do see a bit of a stack. KB looking for it, but Adam gonna get out with his life after picking off Widow, and it's just gonna be so rough now here for KP to find a way back into this one, as they've had their first attack repulsed. They've lost 2 members, 3 members now thanks to that double kill, and looks for all the world like AG's gonna take us here to map point on Dust 2. I don't think anything's really gonna stop them here from closing out this second map. It's gonna be hard pressed here for KB to even have a shot at pulling something like 6 rounds in a row.
Especially when they still seem to be not really connecting on anything. I mean, they're clearly getting outshot by AG, and obviously AG has the strategic advantage, so what advantage do they have now?
Right. Then what are you left with? The answer is not much, it would seem. About three rounds worth. Well, not even that, right? Because
Afterwards, 1 round after the clutch.
And that was...
And there's more evidence. They just cannot seem to connect on their shots. This is KB we're not used to seeing. I mean, we've seen such a dominant KB in the terms of just out mechanicalizing. We'll make up that word real quick. Their opponents, and then all of a sudden they're not even competition on that end for AG. It seems AG always getting like 2 picks in the face of multiple enemies.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I mean,
bonkers.
I was gonna say a little bit, but it's more than a little bit strange. It's actually so unbelievable that it's just such a huge difference. I mean, maybe there's something else at play here, right? Maybe KB's Dust 2 is actually just horrid, and they got lucky a couple of rounds early and played really well. But I doubt that being the case. However, they're picking up some rounds here towards the end. That's 2 now in a reasonable amount of time. And this could really stabilize them moving into our next round.
I mean, they're 2-2 on this half so far, so you know it's looking a lot more even now than the lopsided end of last half. Literally 6 rounds in a row, and to start off the next map, they got 1, so that's 7 rounds in a row that AG had.
Yeah, it was certainly a stomp fest there for a little bit, but I think all KB needs to do is rebound before the TD. If you can do that, you bounce back, you're ready, you're in the driver's seat there, you're ready to go, no problem. Adam gonna be tagged down to 21 HP, and 2 kills gonna come out here for AG. 3, and this looks like this should probably be our last round here on Dust 2. But, you know, if there was a man who's going to clutch it out, it certainly seemed like it might just be this guy. See if he can one-up Shirshia, and then perhaps the tilt goes completely the other direction. And, yeah, it's not going to happen with shots like that. But he does actually find it in the end. It was almost like Chunju was completely lost and couldn't find where the shots were coming from. He only has to take down 4 more.
That's not that bad, right?
In 45 seconds. I
mean, Shershui's done it.
Right. Now you just have to do what Shershui did. And they're all low health except for, you know, the boss there in Shershui. I also think that this is something that we need to continue to see from AG, is this production from different members, right? And definitely a big round there, or just big map there win for AG.
I mean, you can boil it down to a big round.
Right. One giant round.
Just, I'm so confused right now. Like, how can a professional team at any level get so tilted off of something like that? I mean, at the end of the day, maybe you're right. Maybe they're just not good at Dust 2, but it certainly seemed like they were at the beginning. And it's... I don't know.
Yeah, it's a scary thought that could happen with how everything has looked so far, especially on our map 1, where it looked pretty even until just barely edged out there by KB. And it looked for all the world like we were going to have something similar.
Yeah.
And then just tilted off the face of the earth, or a myriad of other things. But, it comes back to this idea that you were talking about where KB seems like their own worst enemy. Like, the team that can beat KB is KB.
I seriously didn't even think back to saying that. Like, I forgot I said that, but that rings true now more than ever, because once again, whenever both teams are firing, it doesn't really even seem like AG is the best team on the map. Like, honestly.
No,
but,
I don't think it does. Yeah.
But they just won 10-4.
And it seems like, it doesn't seem like there's that same gap that maybe is between that we saw in our first best of 5 today, when KB is firing on all cylinders, right? But there's certainly a noticeable gap between AG and KB when they're both playing at that high level, which is another reason why maybe that it, just that little bit of tilt actually looks like a whole heck of a lot, because they're actually, quite closely matched teams. And just that little bit, you can nudge AG over the edge and give them so many rounds.
I'm even scared to try to even predict the next map, because
Coconut Island, baby. We're going.
I still feel like they should have
drinks.
taken that. So, I don't even know if I want to call that they're going to take this. Their shots are looking worse than AG's right now. So, this is looking in AG's favor.
I think you would have to say, as I did during the match, or during Dust 2, I said, if there's a way to get back on the horse of not hitting your shots, it's playing TD, right? What do you do when you're ready to warm up? You get to your computer, you load up ship with some bots, right?
Depending on who you are, yes. Some players, yeah. Me, no. I load up some FFA New Greece. So it's basically a deathmatch. It is deathmatch.
Same idea, right?
Yeah.
It's you give yourself more opportunities to hit your shots in a shorter amount of time, thus equaling more practice and more reps. So, it's muscle memory at this point. So if these guys just grind it through, grind out their, slump, if you can call it that they, the tilt more than anything, then we could just be right back on track for, instead of that 3-1, that thus turns into a KB 3-2.
Maybe so. I'm still hoping my first prediction is right, because then I'll look like a beast. But we'll find out.
Well, let's go ahead and get into match 2. Map 3. As we see the cup.
好的，经过激烈的我们的第2轮的比赛，我们比分打成了1-1。
And welcome back here as we get ready to go into map 3, Coconut Island. So get your
Let's go, baby. Vacation.
your fruity drinks ready, some virgin daiquiris, some virgin Maui Wowies.
I have no clue what that one is. Is that the one in the coconut?
The one in the coconut is what? Pina colada?
Oh, yeah. I've never had one of those, but it's in the coconut. It's got to be delicious.
Anyway, you have to think, if we're predicting each map at the beginning of the day,
Yeah.
or even after map 1, you say, TD, that's got to be heavily in favor of KB. They seem to have better aim.
And this is so hard.
You know,
I mean, watch us
Yeah.
predict AG now. And then KB's going to be like, oh, yeah, I remembered how to aim now, and then just blow them up. Like, this is so hard. I don't even want to predict anymore.
I mean, you know, it comes down to how good is their leadership.
Yeah. This man right here.
And even, is he even the leader?
Maybe not. I mean, he's definitely the veteran on the team, but I would be very surprised if he's not the leader. That'd be really weird. Why would he not be the leader, you know?
Or if
He has
he's,
so much knowledge.
or if he's not the guy, even if he's not like the, you know, calling strats
Yeah.
and whatnot, he's the guy that you want on your team to step up and say, guys, yes.
Can we stop sucking?
Everybody calm down. Everybody calm down. This is far from over. We can come back in this Dust 2 map. We can come back now in TD.
All you got to do is click the shoot button once you see him.
Just put the cursor on his head and then
And say
press
bye-bye.
the shoot. Yeah. So I think,
I think
it's
this is this Shirst way right here? I'm
yes, that is him.
like, yeah, that's the man that really won them that map.
I mean, turns out that way. And we are out into Coconut Island. And immediately out to the 1-0 lead is KB. But bouncing back right away. No, I will not cast it in that manner because there will be too many calls. Too many kills for us to keep up with here.
As the bounce is just being a bouncy little ball and just going up and down, up and down, up and down. And it looks like we're going to see what Chengdu can do here as he spots out one member, but that member is quickly taken out by his team, and he's in their spawn right now. But it doesn't look like they're looking the right way here.
Are any worries you had about KB not bouncing back, at least from an aiming and just straight fragging perspective, are gone, right? I mean, 13 kills in. You know, they've got a reasonable 3-kill lead. At this point, you have to believe that they've bounced back, right? Or is it still too early for you?
I think it's still too early for me. I mean, if they get ahead by like, okay, they're starting to pull ahead a little bit here, but if they get ahead by like 10, because I honestly believe their aim is much better than AG's, but not to a point where they'll be ahead by like 15 or 20. But I think like a 10-kill lead is reasonable for them if they're on point.
Yeah, 10 kills is like
Pretty
just
hard.
Just cresting that hard to come back area. You know, as it is, you need to get 2 to 1. You need to cleanly kill out two sets of teams, basically. You know, five-man team. You need to do it twice. 10 is that scary number, but right now it's tied up, dead even. Such a close one here between the two, and just popping 2 there is Chengdu, and another double from Cuban himself. And it's rubber banding back and forth pretty heavily here. Nobody really able to get any kind of momentum building, as we see around the map plenty of people moving, and it is going to be, it does seem like, is it just me, or you can't really tell who is on which team until they die, actually, on the mini-map.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty difficult to tell, you know, exactly how the battle lines are forming. But you would assume that it does look like KB is trying to take over this this, we'll say bottom house there, as there are two inside buildings there. This one being bottom and this one being top.
And now that we've gotten a little bit past the halfway point, though, it still looks like KB is more in the lead than AG overall, just because they keep taking over and over. And I mean, it's just so close, though, between these two teams, as we see WIP and Widow picking up 3 in between them. And it just, KB is just bouncing up on the scoreboard here. And they're just finally looking to pull ahead here at the 50 kill mark.
Yeah, we'll have to see when the spawns come out if it does rubber band back, but it looks like pretty even trades, actually, even post respawn. And that will give a pretty decent 5 kill advantage there. And that's huge. Oh, a nice triple for Bowser. He's looking for more. And that could keep them within striking distance. Bowser just completely popping off on this kill, or on this life. Does get shut down there, and LZK going to pick up a double for himself, while Adam does as well. And it doesn't seem like holding these buildings is necessarily as important as, you know, maybe like holding middle house there on Mexico TD. And that's a 4K there for Bowser. I mean, this guy.
He's absolutely, I mean, he's not very far ahead of his teammates, but in the last half of this game, he's been really freaking carrying. Just an absolute freak of nature right now, just popping off left and right.
Another double for him.
4Ks.
Picked up another double as well. He does finally go down, but is the dip, and it's done at the death there. 70 already here for AG, and it looks like they might just steal this one here. 72. Last 8 kills, 73, and now they're out to the 5-kill lead. It's still so close there. Widow won't die there, but Kuban will pick one up. And things are going to start slowing down a bit here, as you tend to see when it gets close here in these TDs. Bowser getting tagged heavily, and he will go down. It's 74-76. It's still so close. 3Y gonna pick one up. 77-75. Still 2 kills. 78. Man, they're just holding steady at those 2 kills, but it's yet to end. There it is. And yeah, AG gonna hop out now to a 2-1 lead. Good on them here in this first TD that we've seen. And it still just seems like KB is all over the place. Like, map 1, on it, good, let's go. Map 2,
Yeah.
completely fallen apart. Map 3, good, we're in it. Oh no, we've fallen behind at the death. And then, just can't quite claw their way back in. But that's 2 maps now that were so close.
Yeah.
Both directions.
It's honestly just hard to watch them fall apart in the most vital moments, because they were ahead pretty much the entire game, except for just very few times, all the way up until like the 65 kill mark. 70 kill mark, like the home stretch. And then Bautza, they just allowed him to go absolute ham sandwich.
Yeah, it has to be said that, like, he's now become, to me, clearly AG's best player.
In that game. In the last game, not so much because his teammates were doing so much work, like Shui and
Game 1.
and Da Shuo. But in game 1, yeah. So overall, 2 out of 3 for me. I would say Bautza, yeah, maybe so. I mean, he's definitely probably their best aimer. This man is an absolute legend. He's just,
Yeah.
it's unreal how hard he actually carried them without actually carrying in number.
I didn't quite see. Did you get an eye there on the ending or somewhat near the ending kill counts for the teams? Because I was a bit too preoccupied by the scoreboard up top there.
I didn't see the names except for, I did notice that, of course, Bautza had about 20.
Right.
And he was leading.
Right.
Yeah, but the rest of them I didn't really see, and I know Widow was leading for KB as well.
And it's good to see, but I mean, we didn't see down the stretch from Widow what we saw from Bautza. Right, Bautza.
Widow has definitely fallen off since map 1.
We saw a 4K there from Bautza in the middle. That when basically AG was down about 4 kills.
Yeah.
And he put 4 back on he tied it up for them immediately. And, it will bounce around after that, but that was the turning point. That was where they got their advantage. And nobody from KB was able to turn that back around, right?
Yeah, you're 100% true on that, and I can't believe I even betted for KB in the first place. It's obvious now what their weaknesses.
So weird.
It's obvious. I mean, with what we had to base it off of, I think I was 100% like correct in voting for that.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah. Until their challenge, they're them being challenged and them not being challenged are completely two different teams.
Yeah. It's hard to watch. I mean,
but that's so strange because they clutched out map 1. Like Cuban clutched out map 1.
Cuban.
That's true. It could just be that veteran status. Moving forward, though, onto Black Widow. Is this KB's time to just? All right, we've had a couple of games where we had one where we looked good. We had one where we looked miserable. We had one where we looked just barely not good enough. Do we run full circle? Is this how the 3-2 came out for AG?
I don't even want to risk it. I don't want to risk betting for KB. I'm just going to say AG's probably going to take it. Black Widow, basically, not the same map as Dust 2, but a very, very similar map.
Same feel.
Same
right?
feel, same structure of a map. Very different in the look and, a way parts of the map are laid out. But overall, same feel and 50-50 map for both sides, like BL, GR. And it's too hard to call at this point. I'm just going to go for AG because they just do not give up. Even when they are getting clutched on or whatever is happening, they don't fall apart. So I'm just going to say AG.
Right. That's definitely where I was going to go with it, is that, I would have to change my bet as well, because if you're talking about it being that close, then there's got to be some X factor. But we are going to take a break real quick.
一些体系什么的升级和对KB 的研究，然后接下来的总决赛我们会打出一些战术出来。这是 CFMI， 因为国外选手接触这个服务器比较少，的时间比较短，然后我们也很轻松的把这座奖杯留到了中。
AG 这队伍吧，感觉就是说枪法的话还行，就是说爆破。就是因为我们之前打过太多次了嘛，就不管从第1届啊，然后到第2届到现在的国际邀请赛，都是因为都是老对手了嘛，就是肯定各自 知道彼此心中的某些站位，还有一些特定的打法。然后AG这战术我感觉就是属于那种爱偷别人屁股吧。上次你们侥幸赢得了冠军，这次我们用实力碾压你们。
他们队伍协调性比较好，还有配合打的就挺到位的。KB 他们，我觉得就他们队伍中的狙击手吧，就狙击会给我们很大压力。就比如你打点的时候，他突然给你一枪，然后带走一个队友什么的，就会打得很乱吧。这次冠军还是属于 A。
这次总决赛我们的对手是 AG， 也是老对手了，经常一起打，所以说呢对他们还是比较了解。然后这次总决赛我们也放出了就是一直搬掉的供电所，所以说我希望能打出一些新的东西，不一样的东西让大家看到。我觉得 AG 这个队伍啊，其实每个人都要给他们插一个标签吧，因为一个队伍的胜利不是某一个人的事儿，所以说是5个人一个团队的事儿，然后每个人都要去注意一下就好了。我觉得这次国外的队伍呢，他们可能接触这个手游时间没我们国内长，但是在他们的那个时间段里已经算不错了，我觉得打得挺好的。虽然这次 CFMI 是第1届，我们也很荣幸把这个冠军是留在了中国。
这个队伍 AG 也是我们的老对手了，毕竟我们上次在 S2总决赛的时候，很可惜的输给了他，所以这是国际赛的冠军，我们还全力以赴去争夺的。AG 这个队伍里面的包子吧，因为AG 这个队我们也有去针对了解这个包子，他喜欢去打个时间差去偷，我们稍微去留意一下。我们队伍的一个优势主要在于我们的爆破套路上面，战术调整方面要比 AG 要好一些。
CFMI 的总决赛的话，我们的对手是 KB 战队，然后前身是 SC 战队，然后也是遇到过很多次在超级联赛，然后他们的打法非常的就是强势一点，然后我们也会多去针对他们。我们肯定会针对他们进行一些打法上的改变，或者是人员上的变动。
AG 的话是一支敢打敢拼的一支队伍。AG 包子吧，因为他的打法是那种，喜欢就是悄悄的摸到就是我们的身边，然后偷偷的窜出来的那种感觉。S2决赛的话，我觉得可能是还是我们感觉这个冠军胜券在握吧，比较粗心大意了。最近也跟 AG 打了大大小小的线上赛事，也都是战胜过他们的。这次总决赛我觉得100%能拿到冠军。
CFMI 我们的对手 KB 的话，他们也是一个老牌战队了嘛，然后我们也跟他交手过很多次，然后他们的配合打得也十分的好，然后个人实力也挺强的，然后对于我们来说的话，也是一个难啃的骨头吧。KB 他们战队的话，他们是五个人的实力都挺综合的吧，也没什么特别的突出，因为每个人都会有手感或没手感嘛，也会出来带节奏嘛。就当 KB 说的嘛，他们要这个冠军，那不行，我们 AG 肯定不会给你们。
其实像信心的话，我们肯定是有的。对于他们，我们更多的是想在心态上进行调节，因为都知道线下比赛，特别是总决赛场上，大家的心理活动都比较紧张，再加上一些外界因素，比如说现场的声音比较吵，然后影响大家的一些爆点之类的，这些都是非常重要的因素。我觉得我们想要跟 KB 之间进行争夺冠军的话，更重要的是心态调节这方面。我们和 KB 交手过很多次，基本上都是在总决赛或者说4强当中就遇到他们。他们这支
And welcome back here as we get ready to go into Black Widow. And our predictions keep swinging wildly. So really,
that's because
I should change mine again and go back to KB.
Not for me. Not for me.
Because I know that. Because for some reason, all of a sudden, when they're not performing, they're just gonna something's gonna click back on, and they're just gonna come out here and roll AG.
Man, I don't see it. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm a stickler for like if you're playing this way right now, that's how you're gonna continue playing, because it's hard to get over like how they just lost again in a close. I mean, that one was closer, obviously, but TD's going to be closer. But they were leading, man. They were leading consistently throughout the whole thing by like 5 kills.
And leading down the stretch, right? You know, when you want to be leading. But they came so close to clawing their way back at the very end. They got it down to 2, and then I think it actually ended 180 to 77. So, I mean, it's not like...
But, I mean, they lost...
3 kills.
I think because they started to get pretty decently far ahead, and then they lost like a 6 or 7 kill lead and lost by 3.
I mean, that's
like 2 team wipes.
That's still...
in the space of 20 kills.
That's still pretty common.
In the space of 20 kills? They lost 2 team wipes, basically?
I mean, it's certainly not, like, preferable.
You see what I'm saying, though?
But are you saying that that's not, like, something that would regularly happen in CFPL?
I mean, if they're ahead by, like, 7 kills at 120 something, and then they lose by 3, I guess it's not as uncommon, but that's because the gameplay is, I don't know, the gameplay is different on the small map like Coconut Island. Excuse me, but I think it's a lot harder to lose by complete team wipes on a map like Coconut Island, because you're not in like such a good map position like you can get on Mexico TD.
That is actually a really good point.
They're just they straight got outshot.
You can get that full court press on Mexico where you force them to come out from spawn through that corner. Right, I understand where you're coming from there. That it's basically you're just losing straight up fights again and again and again to finally.
When you were winning those exact same fights again and again and again and again.
Yeah.
You know, that's why to me, I still think AG is going to take this next map, because to me that's that's a profound loss again.
But I literally have no proper justification why KB will take this map.
It's just you have a feeling.
I just have a feeling, and I just have this feeling that they're just all of a sudden it's going to click back on for them, and they might just come out and just straight stomp on this map.
Maybe just because they don't want to lose.
I think if it's close, they lose. But I think if they just come out here, I think it's entirely possible that they could just storm out to like a 7-2 first half or like a 6-3 first half with that unrelenting pressure that they've done on Black Widow before.
And then Shui gets a 1v4 and then they fall apart and lose 9 rounds in a row.
That would be
unfortunate again.
Unfortunate would be, that's a great word for it. That would be absolutely unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
But again, you know, this is also just going to be comfort map for everybody out there on this team, on these teams, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that even if you are joining the mobile now, if you're going to be a pro in China on the mobile version, whether or not you were a successful pro, or
you still have that experience, you know how to play.
You definitely have played on this map more times than you can count.
Yeah, that's true as well.
This map is like the back of any long-time CF player.
This is pretty much the most common map in almost any version. Or no, I should say this. It's top 3 in any version everywhere. And that's rare.
We just saw that they're going to reskin it for a second time.
Oh, and it looks so dope. Dude, I cannot wait. I get stoked to play when they do things like that. I actually get really stoked to play. And for a player that's played as long as I have, I mean, I still am excited to play a lot. But at this point, I'm only really excited to play like tournaments. I love playing tournaments. And so for me to just want to get on and play, because, you know what I mean? Like, it's a big deal. So it looked pretty cool. But overall, as I was saying about Black Widow, just real quick, in like every single version, there's a different favorite map. And there's a lot of different favored maps. Like in a Eagle Eye is like huge.
Yeah.
I hate Eagle Eye so much because I like it in competitive, but I hate in the public matches because I'm always forced to play it. And then here in China, they love New Year. But let's go ahead and get into this Black Widow.
Our Chinese co-casters next to us. One of them most certainly did not almost fall out of his seat. He does appear to be recovered.
Well, that was pretty funny.
That was genuinely funny. Glad he didn't injure himself, though. Anyway, here we go. The start of the KB comeback begins now.
And we're seeing a nice spread on the map, at least some strategy coming out of KB early on, so that shows a little bit more confidence. They're not just running around and doing whatever, thinking like, seeming to think that, oh, we just already lost this. So, I mean, maybe this is a fresh KB, basically new to this finals that we haven't seen yet.
I mean, I think the tilt was never that, oh man, we're going to lose. I think the tilt was always, how could we be losing to these guys?
Or how could we have lost that round? You guys are garbage. Maybe a gripe amongst the teammates kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but when 4 out of 5 of them go down, it's hard to... Ooh, nicely done, Dasho. Looking for more. Can't quite find it.
Can't pull out the revenge.
It will be Widow who actually drops him there. And Cuban going to take a whole lot of damage, which will make this harder here as we... Ooh, and another nice kill there by Chengdu. Going to really put the hurt onto KB. And from the bottom there, it's Baozi again. Adam, ooh. Nice headshot, but it is going to swing back there onto AG's favor. And that's 1-0 for AG. Now, KB did select to go onto the attack again, as they were losers of map 3. What do you think about that decision?
I mean,
what does it signify to you?
That's just like a common pick. It's not even surprising. They're just kind of, they're not being surprising at all. That's the thing. It's not surprising for me, unless they have something up their sleeve. Generally, you want to start, okay, unless you're ahead, I'll give it to you. If you're ahead and you're doing really well, maybe you're up 2-1 right now, I would go on the GR side. But 9 times out of 10, I would just go on the BL side anyways. But that's the only time I would go on GRs if I was actually ahead right now.
And why would that be?
Just because I'm feeling safe, and I want them to feel stressed out and make the plays.
Yeah.
Like they know they need to make plays. Like KB knows they need to make them right now. But even still, if I was ahead, like I said, 9 times out of 10, I would still pick BL.
Yeah. And we do see, like, perhaps the BXQ is going to come out. That is a whiffed grenade there, though. We'll see how that affects them as kills coming back and forth, but he can't. Ooh, nice shot there. Will take the site. Only Dasho going to be in range within anytime soon. The end around is coming, but it's so far away from Chengdu, and there was no real way, in my opinion, that this was really going to work here from him. Yeah, he will get the jump, but you know, you have to think that's all you're going to get is the one, and it will be Kuben who does drop him down there. That being said, I mean, the way Kuben took that without waiting for teammates to come across, that was pretty dangerous of him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as it works out, who's to complain, right?
I guess so. But certainly not the way that I would want my team to be playing. As Bald's going to pick up none of those, despite all the spray. In fact, Adam, call it kill stealing, call it Bald's trying to kill steal. Regardless, AG has the one-man advantage now, as Balza does get traded out. And unable to find any damage there as the hop comes through. Adam just trying to find some kind of angle here, hopping through the window, and Widow does jump up there to try and contest him, but not going to make a big difference. AG now having the two-man advantage, but that's almost immediately equaled, and dangerous there for a second until it does get cleaned up.
You know, I'm definitely liking these B takes over and over again from KB because they are working out. Unfortunately, the hold didn't work out, obviously, but I mean, their strategy is working right now. You know, the later B takes, I mean, like they kind of spread out, look for a pick maybe. If they can't find one, or even if they do, they seem to go toward B a lot. And they're really good at taking the B site. They just need to hold better.
Yeah, and it's definitely we haven't seen much, at least not yet, of the fight between 3Y and Dasho. In fact, 3Y doesn't even have that big old cannon in his hand in the Barrett.
You know, this whole I guess you can say tournament final, that is, we haven't really seen much of a battle between the two in general. I mean, we've seen them picking off the other's teammates, but
yeah, it was our featured matchup, and it's been super quiet. It's been about players like Balza and Widow and Kuben.
And my boy Chengdu wanted his name mentioned, so he goes ahead and gets a frag real quick. And it looks like this A-site take is going to work out, as Dasho just can't seem to connect on his shots. And he's still in a good position here along with Shershui to hold this A-site, and that looks like KB knows that, so they're making moves here, dropping down, playing careful, all the above. And it's still not going to work out for them as he still gets one Dasho onto Widow.
That came dangerously close to being a collateral.
Yeah, it did.
And it's going to actually end up in a 2v2. Ooh, just barely missing it again. He's looking for more here, Dasho. He's salty that we thought he might not be performing. And he's going to have to pick up this last one, and he does.
You know, a curious thing that I noticed in that video that they made with the interviews or whatever.
Yes.
They mentioned that, AG mentioned that they don't like playing against the sniper of KB, meaning that maybe that's why they switch out their sniper. That could be a reason why they have Dashua. But regardless.
That he was just getting eaten alive by 3Y?
Maybe so.
But if 3Y is so good at it, why is he not picking it up? It's such a good map to do it on.
I don't know. Maybe he's been... I mean, it hasn't really been working out for him on the last S&D map because they were getting destroyed. So maybe that's kind of why he's not picking it up here.
But still, pick it up. Give yourself an opportunity, because the way it's looking right now, Dasho isn't gonna give up that A-site hold until he sees 3Y out there contesting him with that op. That long sightline is always going to favor him.
Yeah.
So they need to do it eventually, right? You've talked about how the B hits are working out, but if the B hits stop working and A is not an option because 3Y is just not holding the gun you need to take long A control, then it really restricts your options. You have to go through A, just as we see here now, although it has been wildly successful for them, 3Y even getting a headshot of his own to try and shut me up about him not holding on to an op. Balza in the impossible 1v4. That one would have been about 50 times better than the first one, I think.
Mainly because they were actually shooting at him appropriately.
Yes.
And hitting a decent amount of shots there.
And because the ability to try and get through that window while shooting multiple people on the site is that's a tall order. Taller than standing on Cat and just spraying people down.
Are you disrespecting his cat spray down?
I mean, no. I didn't say it wasn't impressive. I'm saying that doing all of that, but also jumping through a window at the same time makes it, it's like rubbing your belly and patting your head, but also jumping on one foot, while blindfolded.
You may be asking a little much there.
That was kind of the point, though, right?
I just tried it. Almost fell off. Be bad if it fell off this platform here. But it looks like 3Y is going to go ahead and fall off Cat here, but he's still in a bit of a sticky situation, but he has a teammate also to back him up, so it's not so bad. And he put a little headshot on him. It's not so bad either.
It's a good round here from KB. I mean, great bounce back. There, at this point now, it's 3-3, barring some sort of miracle here by Chengdu, which, I mean, to be fair, we probably shouldn't assume it's not possible.
Oh, for sure. But, just like just happened, that should be what happens every time in 5v1s, 4v1s, etc.
Even if it is in some sort of tight fashion, you still have to think that at least somebody can shoot him, right?
I mean, that's what I would have thought that round where the Cat thing happened, but you never know with KB.
They're such a strange team.
You never know with KB, baby. I just want to say that.
I do not understand them yet. Just because, they look revitalized here on Black Widow. They look like they're back in it and ready to go. In fact, they're going to get an opening pick there thanks to Widow, as he does pick up one onto Adam. 8 now for him in this round. He's going to get some tag damage there as well. He's looking for Chengdu, but it does look like this battle on the stairs is going to be a rough one to win here for Shurshui.
And I definitely want to point out again, I love the shooting style of now Shurshui, who's kind of gone into it as well as Chengdu. Just the tapping, you don't really see that much in this game. And I really want to see how it works out here. Maybe he can just get a... Nope. I was going to say a cute little one tap, but it's not going to happen. As Dashuo is picking one up in exchange for him.
I mean, the tapping has to be so much harder here on the mobile version.
Yeah.
I mean, but... Ooh. It seems like...
Tapping with the Barrett is pretty good?
Yeah.
Seems like that.
That's where I was headed. Thank you for the tour guide journey. It's a 1-1 here, right? Or 1v1. But Dasho, I'm really surprised to see him on 24 HP take out the pistol. Maybe he thinks Cuban is tagged low. I'm not a huge fan of what Cuban's done here. I really liked the fact that he was going to try and get into close quarter situation. But if he gets hit through that doorway, yeah. Thankfully for Cuban's sake, he didn't get hit through that doorway. But, if you can close the distance on Dasho, you would think, hey, that gives me substantially the advantage, which is essentially what he's doing here, right? That now he has to close the distance. But you made the distance large in order to reclose the distance, so that does bother me a bit.
I think the only reason why he did that, though, was just because the clock was low.
Was it?
Yeah, it was 1 second when he planted. And, obviously he could have just hid behind the cat windows if he wanted to. But, at the same time, I mean, he probably still could have aggroed onto him and still won the round. But either way, smart play.
That's what I would have gone for is just try and jump in there and take the fight to him.
With my deagle.
Yeah. Right. Because I assume they have the information that he was tagged pretty low. He already missed that one Barrett shot. He should be able to close in on it. Anyway, that's going to give KB the advantage here as we head towards that side change. 2 more rounds left to go, and we'll have to see how they shake out, because I think if KB's in the lead, are they back in the lead to take this map?
Too early to call for me. I mean, I would say if they're in the lead for this half, then yes.
If they put 2 in a row on,
then I would say they're clearly the favorites for this map, just because they're on a roll again. But it seems really easy to derail them, so I think all AG has to do is just throw a couple of their members at them to die, and then clutch them.
Right. That's that next level, that new strategy. You don't need that new strategy. You need that new strategy.
The counter KB.
I still find it so hard to believe they could tilt, that it's actually that you could tilt that badly from something like that. Anyway, it is a 3-on-3 here. 3Y getting it tagged through the door, and actually a cute little peek there, but it does get traded back out. And now it's all of a sudden a 2-on-1. Kuban definitely has a shot at this, although Dasho smartly is going to trade out for that AK. Shurshay going to need to play the second position here. Yeah, and well done there by Dasho, closing in the distance and allowing Shurshay to be that backup second man. As they do jump out onto the map to decide the victor here of the first half. Whoever wins this round will get the pleasure of taking that 1-round advantage as they switch sides. You'd have to say that if KB picks up this round, that they've stabilized.
I would say it's definitely a tight battle. I wouldn't give it in the favor of KB, but I also wouldn't give it in the favor of AG. And as we say that, kills are going back and forth. It's a very tight round, and it looks like it's starting to go in the favor of AG, but as I say that, 3Y, he's not having any of that, and he hears one in the window here. And depending on what the GR decide to do, this could either be detrimental for the GR if they decide to collapse on, run through this door into this crossfire, or if 3Y is doing what he's doing here, this could be bad for him because he's already getting lit up so hard, and it just seems a little bit of a mistake there. He should have kind of stuck together, maybe done something together, run through the door. If you wanted to run in, run together.
I think it's fine when he hops up and looks
but
for
running
it.
out,
but then coming all the way through the window and attacking through on towards spawn, I think is where the mistake really came out.
That seemed kind of sus.
Very, very pecked of him.
And, in this next half, I think KB are they need to kind of roll back the time to the first map and be pretty aggressive on this GR side. I think they need to roll back to their normal play style, you know what I mean? Especially on this GR side, or else I don't know how well it's going to go for them. I don't know if I vote for him here.
All right. What do you think of this probability-wise? It's going to be close.
I already don't like it.
9-8.
Did you say 9-8?
9-8 in maybe AG's favor.
Uh-huh.
And it's a 1-on-1. Balza versus Kuban.
Balza
takes it?
Yeah. I think, straight up 1v1, he will take it against Kuban. We haven't really seen them matched up in 1v1s or anything lately.
We saw one 1v1,
1
but
HP.
Yeah, Cuban was at.
So it wasn't really fair. But I think Balta takes it. I mean, he's also a really smart player, and I think he has the aim advantage compared to Cuban.
At this point for me, it's almost a question of who's going to be in that late clutch scenario, because I feel like we're heading for another 10-8, 10-7. Depends on how well both teams can really keep up their performance, but it has to be said, eyes are more on KB to be stable than on AG. AG's been playing very stable the whole time. Shots ringing out towards the doors. Will not find anybody home. As we move into the second half here, AG with the 1 round advantage on the attack. And really not favoring anybody here early. But with a map win here, of course, AG can hoist the first ever Asia Invitational, but no time for that as Balta storms out onto Cat, and everybody from KB decides they don't want anything to do with that. But Balta will not take no for an answer and chases them all the way back into spawn. And an absolute steamroll there of a round for AG. Only Widow left alive.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good execution, but at the same time, it wasn't that good. What just happened? I mean, are they guarding the site or are they just guarding their spawn? That's the real question. They were just backing up. Yeah, like you said, they didn't want none of that. Kind of odd.
But Balza was chasing them down the street.
KB might as well just rename their abbreviation to IBP. IBP Power. The throws.
What?
Oh, you don't know about that? Never mind.
No.
It's a reference for another time then.
That sounds like an NA. I feel like I've heard of that as an NA team.
They were a CSGO team that got banned for throwing.
Wait. They got banned?
Yeah, for throwing.
Oh, intentionally.
Yeah. I was making a little joke because they just weren't guarding the site. They were just running away. Like, what?
Yeah. I see. Well, I see.
A little funny there, just a little one.
That's on me. Although I did see. So how common? My question escaped me, but it has to be said, it does look like KB is going to pick up their first round here on the defense without some heroics here from Dasho and Shurshe, which maybe just let Dasho go down.
1v4. Let Shurshe go on Cat.
Right, exactly. Shurshe run up Cat. Dasho just run into spawn and dance around until you die. And then boom. Key to victory. Step 1 enacted. Step 2 is Shurshe has to pull off the 1v4, which that's a big if. It's a big if. But unable to find it so far. Either team really just both playing super passive. It's just such smart casual play here from KB. There's really no reason to come aggress until the bomb comes down.
But as you say that, LZK just hops out of the window and says, bye.
Right. Nice double kill
bye,
from him.
have a beautiful time.
The bomb was down, though. So that still does hold true for my statement.
That was a big round for KB to win. I mean, if they were just going to... They did let AG string 2 rounds together, which wasn't great for them. But, them coming back and not allowing AG to start running away with it, like they have in the past is just really good for KB's own confidence, not necessarily any detriment to AG's confidence.
Exactly. I think if that turns into 7-4, your KB might be in danger of the here we go again.
Oh, shucks. Well, at least we tried, boys. Kept it close early.
And I think it's partially a testament as, oh my goodness, what a great backstab. He's got 3 now, Balza. And it has to be said, he's been lurking so well.
Was that much of a lurk when he walked up A long and nobody was looking at it? I mean, what?
He found the blind spot.
Okay. I mean, none of his teammates were really even being seen anywhere. They were just distracted on A. They didn't really want to watch it, I guess. They just don't like watching A.
They're afraid of that Dashio op getting them, so they refuse to peek it. I mean, regardless of why, Balza did in fact get up close and personal, pick up 3 kills, and put 7 rounds now on the board for AG.
And he also has 7 kills. Does that mean AG's going to win?
Well, if he gets 1 kill in this round, then more than likely they win the round, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only possible way that it makes sense. But it is actually going to be Chengdu going to pick the first one up there. A nice headshot, and another headshot here for Balza. It will be Widow trading one back, but I mean, it's just AG's just winning fights all over the map. And this is when it gets scary, right, for KB, because this is what was happening in Dust 2. Where just all of a sudden they just stopped winning any fights ever after winning them for the majority of the time. WIP gonna pick one up there onto, and this should go in the way of KB at least for now. Adam gonna have to find a good angle. I'm not sure. They definitely do not know that he is coming from this angle.
But they're gonna check it though. It doesn't matter though, because Adam, he's hitting nice shots right now, and it's all up to. It doesn't matter who it's all up to because Adam brings it out, and I think that's pretty much gonna be GG there. Honestly, in my opinion.
Is that the nail in the last?
They got clutched on. They got clutched on.
I mean, that's
it's not the same, but
that's nowhere near the same. That's a much easier clutch to come away with. I mean, you're talking about a 1v2 with 2 low health members versus a 1v4 with multiple full health members.
But all that has to happen is they get clutched on, and then they remember that other 1v4, and then they're like, well, GG.
Right, the old horror stories come flooding back. And yeah, I think it's so dangerous here for KB. Have you noticed, though, how much of this is coming on the back of Balza?
I mean, Balza's been huge. He is definitely the MVP for AG. There's no doubt.
Oh,
he's been the only player to come up pretty much every map, at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could say he had one map where it wasn't the greatest, but I mean, look at that. Adam gonna pick up a double kill actually, and Dashio has yet to pick up a single round or a single kill in this second round, and his team's about to go to championship point. It has to be said that the carry right now between Balza and Adam is real. We are 1 point away from the 3-1, but not as famous predicted. In fact, quite the opposite.
I mean, okay. Who would have thunk this, you know?
It's okay. I thought KB was winning earlier on.
You called 3-2, right?
I called 3-2 just because I thought you had to. I thought I could not decide between 3-1 and 3-2.
Yeah.
And it was a lot about how much pedigree are we going to give AG for winning CFPLM? You know, did they deserve that win or not? Regardless, they won, and it was just so hard to read anything else off of the... I feel like you can almost read more off of not even seeing the 3-2 best of 5 from AGKB. Oh, as we do see the execute that comes out, it could be the game winner here. Nobody yet to go down from either side. Lots of damage being traded back and forth across, but it is a 1-for-1 trade here early. And all of a sudden there are 2 go down here for KB. Adam at full health, but everyone else so low. It's the man you want in this situation. It's Cuban who finds the first one there and onto the full health member. It does look like they're going to have a great chance here to save it for at least one more round. Dashio going to need to hit this shot. That flash will catch him, but not too heavily, and he's found it. Only one left, but it's WIP. He's picked up one. But where's the other? He's going to have to chase him down. The timer's working against him. He's only got 10 seconds. It's all over here. Unless Balza makes a huge mistake. He's done it. But is there time? He has the defuse. 1 second left on the defuse.
Wow. Wow. That was pretty insane. I honestly didn't think he was going to have it. I didn't know how long the defuse was going to be, but I mean, if I were the AG player, I definitely would have peeked a little bit after he started defusing, not as soon as he started defusing,
yeah.
Especially being 1 HP.
And knowing that the clock is so low.
But still, great play coming out of him there.
Yeah, WIP, well done for him. It's certainly been pretty quiet from both WIP and LCK, but that round is a huge way to answer. And that's just WIP about to take over this game as he's got the early pick here for his team. He's going to need to help KB bring it back here. 3 rounds in a row. The execute comes out. The entry frag is good from Chengdu. Another one goes down at the hands of Shirshe, and it's tied up. 3 versus 3, but the site is being held again by AG. And you just have to wonder how many more times can they do it. Kuban finds one immediately. He's going to lose the first duel. Only Chengdu left alive, but he's spraying down. He needs to switch to the pistol, but he can't. Another round held by KB.
Okay, I mean, this is looking more and more like a KB that can come back here. I mean, look at him. Cool, calm, and collected, not sad. Not happy, not anything. This is the best way you can be when you're playing the game.
Yeah, that's certainly the way you want to be. He's not kidding about that one, but are you a believer in the overtime dream?
I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to choose. I feel like if I say yes, then they're going to lose this round. So I'm just not going to say anything. I'm going to remain optimistic.
Man. You just have to wonder did AG just miss their 2 best opportunities? Because they had bomb down, on the site, post-plant positions. Do they get another one? Do they get one that's better or even equivalent to either of those? I mean, you can't get much better than the setup they had with Balza being able to check the bomb from so deep.
And now it looks like KB is gambling that it's going to be some sort of A play here as they have 4 stacked onto the cat and 1 in B window sniping. Or I don't think he's actually sniping, he's rifling. So I'm curious to see how this plays out because AG is going to be taking P yet again. So, I mean, is the retake real from KB? I mean, they've taken it twice in a row. So is third time the charm? Is this third time the time that AG gets it?
Adam, scot-free through mid here. He's found a soft spot, and I think wisely he's going to wait for the execute to come out because he's going to go ahead and open up. This should be a great position for him, but he still can't find it. In fact, Balza does take a couple of shots at him, not quite expecting his teammate to come from that angle. And LZK, so low. He's found it there. Kuban onto Dasho. He's got another one. Only 2 left alive here. Adam's gonna go down, and that's a triple kill.
Wow, absolutely huge play coming out of Cuban here. This man is definitely calm right now because he was tapping away. As calm as could be.
Are you a believer now?
I am a believer now. And I hope that's not the downfall for KB, that I'm once again believing in them. Let's find out if it really is. Am I their kryptonite?
They just need that one more round, and into overtime we go.
That should have 100% been AG's round. That is absolutely insane that KB comes away with it, because they had B-site scot-free. They had a pick. They had another pick onto Widow, who didn't know that Adam was sitting there, and they still win the round. The magic's real, I think, right now.
They seem destined for it at this point. They seem destined to go to overtime. Perhaps the 3-2 win by other team is inevitable. It's no longer their choice. The overtime must happen. So, are you, having been in positions like these before, right? Are you more, and they're gonna go B again. If it, try again, the old motto goes, and the bomb is gonna get passed off to Bowser, and he gets taken down through the doorway.
Collateral?
By 3Y and 2 go down.
I think this is real. The overtime is actually happening here as Widow gets another one. This is huge right now from KB. The comeback is insane. And another pick going back and forth. Chengdu is the only one last alive. And he's going to be taking on 4 members of KB. He takes down 1.
So many
Can he take down
flashes.
2? But it doesn't matter. Overtime.
And just when you think you start to have an idea of what kind of team KB is, they go and do something like that.
What is happening?
And totally redeem themselves. I mean, it's just so ridiculous. What is this team? You are the strangest team ever, KB. The strangest team ever. If you could just play like that, just all the time.
That would be insane to think about that. Come on, man. Why would you want to play good all the time? Explain it to me. Step by step. 10-page paragraph report. I need it.
I probably could actually submit a 10-page report on why playing at that level is better than playing at the other levels they've shown.
I'm actually really surprised that a retake B strategy worked 4 times in a row. I mean, is it really that good on the mobile version, I guess?
It's more about, there's no way, right? Because they essentially won a round. They won a round if Balza checks that bomb literally 1 second later.
Yeah.
And then they kept coming back from odd man down situations. It wasn't like they were coming back and cleaning it out really cleanly, It was every round that they retook on was super hard fought. I don't think it was necessarily a retake B strategy. I mean,
they stacked toward A 3 times.
How many? It's just one of those things. We talked about it before, right? Well, there's no way they're going A again.
Yeah. I mean,
there's no way
maybe
they're
you're
going
right.
B again.
There's no way they and then AG's like, there's no way they retake B again.
Exactly. There's no way they'd go B again, but there's no way they retake it again. And on we went in that fashion until, lo and behold, we
have a
end
winner.
up in overtime.
I mean, if KB keep up this magic here, we're actually playing this map. This is fun.
It's the CFPL rules here for CFPL-M rules here for tie breaks as well as CFPL. We come onto this map with weapons to pick up, and it's going to be even trades here early, but KB going to go a man down. And I have to say, I really like this as a tiebreaker map just because golden round is always going to favor one or the other.
Yeah.
And I think it's such an interesting map to do this on.
Well, that's why I think they should take out the golden rule, the golden round rule, and just make it overtimes until somebody wins, like every other FPS game.
Yeah, I can see how that could be a thing, but I just really like the way that this is set up because it makes it in a situation where you know exactly what every overtime is going to be. You can practice for your over. That's a huge double kill there for Dasho to close out 1-0 now. As you see up there in the middle, 5 is our magic number. If AG reaches it first, it is again them lifting the cup, the first ever here at the Asia Invitational for CFPL-M. If KB can rework their magic to bring us to overtime, then we will be going to a game 3. Or excuse me, to a game 5.
And it's looking really unlikely early on here as they're now down in a 1v3 with WIP who gets picked up by Adam. Adam's a sniper apparently.
You know, I just don't think you can call it. I think even if it's 4-0 for AG, are you still ready to call it?
No. But I mean, there's no B site for them to retake, so I don't know.
That's a good point. But again, KB gonna go a man down early. And it's just getting scarier and scarier here. 3 rounds in a row, they've gone into the disadvantage, and it's played out in AG's favor. Excuse me, two rounds in a row it's played out in their favor.
Ooh. What a shot. I mean, that was not the kill I thought he would go for there, but it looks like KB is going to go up 3-2 here with Bautza being lit. And Cuban, he's kind of hiding away in that little hut over there, so this is a big spot for him to be in. They can't really move out of their positions now. They're going to come into crossfires no matter where they go. And there we go, 3Y getting a pick onto Bautza and Chengdu. Last one left alive, 1v3.
And he will be found out there. And it looks like Kuban should have the jump on him here. And yeah, it will be Kuban who does take down Chengdu. And that will put the first round here on the board for KB. 2-1 now. Ooh. LZK gonna find his team oh, and that's a collateral right there. Gonna come back the other direction. Anything you can do, I can do better. Dasho gonna need to do some magic here. He's got 1. He needs a couple more. Doesn't look like he's quite willing to reload. He's actually gonna switch back out for that Barrett. And he's going to need to find one at a time. LZK and WIP don't know if he's holding on to that Barrett or not by this point. But more than likely they'll have a good idea that he is. He might be coming from a really great position here.
Oh my word, he misses such an easy shot.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not an easy shot there as he doesn't hit it. And now they're onto him. They know exactly where he's coming from. And it's going to be extremely difficult for him now.
Those jitters, those overtime and international finals jitters right there. You can't say it's anything but that. Just taking the shot before he's ready, in all honesty. Great step out there by WIP. Gonna close out that round and tie us up again. 2-2. First to 5. As we said, 2 rounds on the board for each team. And it's going to be KB going down early in this round. WIP tagged to about a quarter HP, it appears. And still 2 full health members here for KB and lots of tagged members here on AG. If they can find the angles here for either team, nerve-wrackingly checking corners as every player as they stroll through this death cross. I believe this is actually Street Fighter map, right?
Yes, it is. And I mean, the thing is, all the pressure is on KB here. If they don't make a move and they let the time run out, they lose the round because they're down 3-4.
Right.
So AG can just hold their spots, hold their crossfires, and just win the round that way, or just keep their advantageous spots and win the round by KB walking into it. So this should be a round that is hugely, in the favor of AG to win. But we'll see how it actually turns out, as a couple of shots are ringing back and forth, but not enough connecting for a kill to happen on either side.
Yeah, it's always that tight line to walk, right? Where you want to protect your advantage, and as we say that, it's actually Cuban who's going to even things out here. And now, more than likely, going to go in the favor of KB as Cuban picks up another and the third one. Only Chengdu left alive and only 7 seconds to get it done. Do what you like, Chengdu. You picked up one, but it's not going to be possible if you find the other, as now they know where you are. And 3-2 now for KB. If KB comes back, wins this overtime, and then wins the tournament, I'm going to actually lose it. They're just trying to make it as hard as possible for themselves. Beautiful double kill there by Chengdu off camera. Gonna put, again, AG into a bit of an advantage. The waiting and watching didn't necessarily go as well as maybe they wanted last round. We'll see if they continue looking for that strategy or change it up. Adam in the neighborhood of 3Y here, but they've yet to see each other from their own angles, and again, it's going to be LZK who evens it up here. 3Y, the only man, along with Dasho, with significant tag damage.
Oh, what a spam by LZK. And KB is on some magical stuff right now. I want to know what they're drinking, what they're eating. What's happening here as Dasho gets taken down by 3Y, and it's now 4-2. It started out 2-0 by AG.
What
4 rounds in a row
is this team? I don't understand you at all, KB. There's a lovely double there from Adam. And they're going to need to string 3 in a row here, AG, to end it here in map number 4. Otherwise, we are going to a 5th and final deciding map, which will be team deathmatch on Death Cross.
We think.
Right, that is true. We think.
It seems like a TD kind of name.
Yeah, and we are going to extend it one more here at the very least, as AG makes it now 4-3. We're going to 4-4, aren't we, before we get a 5, right? How could we not at this point? Chengdu just can't find it there. In fact, it's Adam and Bowser who both go down. But he's in such a great position here, Chengdu. Can he find it? He's found 2. He's looking for more. He's found 3. What is this match? He can't find it on the WIP, and it said Shurshui who finds him. And now LZK, the last man standing, with 2 HP. What is this game? We're going to 4-4. I mean, unless LCK, there it is. It's Cherche
Expected.
with the Jack in the Box.
4-4 expected.
Right? I mean, there was never a question. What kind of ridiculousness is this? And he gets spammed back the other direction. Adam gonna be the first man to go down here. It's still far from over. Bowser getting hit heavily by something there. More than likely was a grenade coming around the corner. And that's gonna put him on 55 HP. AG, all the pressure onto KB and AZ here. The all-important 5th round, excuse me, 13th round. Excuse me, what am I talking about?
What?
I said 13th round. 9th round. I added 8 and 5 because I'm that just extra kind of bad at math. But it's looking like it's so close here. 3-3, but Cherche's getting tagged so heavily. He's been hurt badly, but he's still in the fight. Bowser gonna consider taking this peek into Widow. And if there was ever a time for you to step up, Widow, it's right now. Dasho holding a line, waiting for anyone to find their way into it. Looking. 18, 17, 16. If the clock runs out, somebody's got to make a move here.
KB's going to come out on top if the clock runs out. So AG need to make a move, like, right now. I don't know why they're...
3, 2, 1.
What? You really lose in that way. Oh. So it's not a no.
Oh, my.
Nobody takes a loss. This is crazy. What is happening?
3v3. They say run it back again. Let's just stalemate it out. We want to keep it on 4v4 as long as possible. We need to make this the closest map that has ever been attempted. And 4v4. Run it back. Bald's the only man with damage. 9 kills for LZK. 9 kills for Dasho. 8 kills for 3Y. And 9 kills for Cherche. It's not the people at the beginning of the tournament as Adam picks one up. It's not the people at the beginning of the tournament as WIP picks one up that are trying to save their teams here at the end of it. And there it is. Cherche finds another one, putting himself on 10. And he's tagged down low. 3Y so low here. 42 seconds, and Widow's gonna go down. Cuban's gonna go down. 3Y's picked one up. But he's gonna have 3 more here left to take down before he can do it. He's hopping up through mid. He's got a good position here onto Cherche, but it's gonna be Bowser who takes him down. And holy moly, after all that, it ends 3-1 here for AG. And that is certainly one way to end the first ever Asia Invitational for the for the Crossfire mobile game.
I mean, that's about as tight as it can get. I just can't get over that one round that they ended and nobody won. Like, I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought it was usually the one with more HP would win.
I thought
right?
so too, but let's just go ahead and say congratulations to AG. We'll see you next time for more CF, both mobile and PC. That's Stephen, Craig, and Famous. Again, congratulations to both AG and SV here. Let's go ahead and send it down to the stage.
感谢两支战队给我们带来的精彩的一场战斗，让我们请我们的 KB 战队以及我们的冠军战队稍作休息一下，我们马上就要进入今天最终的颁奖仪式。 谢谢今天现场所有陪伴我们的 C 粉们，感谢你们。今天我们的比赛就要在这里告一段落了，但是最重要的环节就在现在开始进行，马上我们要进行的就是所有的冠军以及亚军以及我们的季军战队的颁奖仪式。到了今天，我们首先要进行是2017年 CFGI 穿越火线国际邀请赛和2017 CFMI 穿越火线手游亚洲邀请赛的颁奖仪式。首先，让我们用热烈的掌声请出2017赛季 CFGI 穿越火线国际邀请赛季军 Pacific Magta 战队以及 Boss CFVN 战队，有请。接下来，把掌声和尖叫声送给我们今天在我们比赛赛场上刚刚出炉的2017穿越火线国际邀请赛的亚军战队 TGF 战队，有请。最后出场的也就是我们最新出炉的2017 CFGI 穿越火线国际邀请赛冠军 SV 战队，欢迎他们！感谢4支战队为我们带来的努力，也同时谢谢所有参加我们比赛的战队，你们所有的努力和付出，才能成就我们今天的联赛。在这里，我们要请出一位重量的来宾为你们颁奖，请出的是穿越火线发行制作人陈侃先生为你们颁奖，掌声送给陈侃先生，谢谢您。请我们的工作人员送上我们代表荣誉的徽章。今天我们在赛场上也能够看到 TGF 战队的所有的年轻和活力，他们的未来有无限可能。最后，请陈侃先生为我们的冠军 SV 战队颁奖。